Okay, hello everyone. Hello. Welcome to another edition of Hugo's Desk. Today we have another honest showreel review. Really appreciate everyone here on the chat. Thank you so much. Please let me know if the sound is okay, if everything is okay. I think I had some kind of audio issues at some point in the beginning, but I think it's now good. I hope the sound is good. So again, thank you so much for being here. And today we have a lovely session as well. We had a lovely session last week with Victor as well. I don't have Victor here today anymore. He will be back, don't worry. Victor Perez will be back with a showreel review as well. We'll be doing that soon. But before we start, we have two showreel reviews to talk today from two artists. And we're going to get to them very soon. But before we do, I just wanted to do some cleaning here and just showcase and talk a little bit about what's up and coming, and so that you all know as well. Since I have you all here, might as well mention that to all of you. So I'm just going to put up my channel here so that we can kind of talk about it for a minute here. So, for those of you who don't know, Hugo's Desk just released a new podcast for the VFX Notes podcast. This time me and Ian disconstruct and talk about Extraction 1 and 2. It's a really nice podcast, and also I apologize already in advance. I kind of go into a rant about the representation of visual effects and behind the scenes these days. And so keep that in mind that I do have that rant, because I'm a bit fed up of all of the nonsense that is happening with the backlash of the anti-CGI sentiment that you find on social media and everywhere. So we do talk quite a lot about that during the stream. So that's there for you to watch if you want. The new episode of the VFX Notes podcast. Also, very cool is that, of course, now we are live here. We are on the Honest Show Reviews 11. There'll be another honest showreel review, so if you couldn't get into this one with your showreel, just make sure to sign up to this one. That will be on the 13th of December. So that's the last one that we'll have before the break, before Christmas. But most importantly, I just wanted to mention to everyone that I'll be hosting the World VFX Day. So this is going to be a huge event that we're going to have through the entire day. So be sure to sign in. It will be live in 8 days. It will be exactly 1 week, almost a week from now. It will be next week that this will happen. And pretty much what will happen is that we will have 11 hours of stream. So during those 11 hours, I'll be here live broadcasting for the World VFX Day. I'll be hosting the event. Haley, which is the organizer, she'll be here with me as well. And we'll have multiple companies. We'll have a bunch of studios presenting keynote presentations. We'll have show reels from them. We'll have breakdowns. We'll have exclusive content. We'll have also Q&As, panels. Like I said, there'll be 20-something events during the whole day. It will be 11 hours. It'll start at 8 a.m. UK time. It will be over around 7 p.m. UK time. So we're trying to gather as much of the world as possible since we're celebrating World VFX Day. There'll be a lot of really cool sessions. I'll just give you highlights for it. I will have a pre-recorded video, which will be a video talking about the anti-CGI backlash. That will be my video, which will be broadcasting in the afternoon. I know Ian Fales has Paul Franklin from the VFX Supervisor. Paul Franklin is going to be talking with Ian as well. Ian is also bringing Jonas as well to talk about the backlash of CGI. There'll be talks from Access VFX. There'll be talks from Ghost. There'll be talks from so many companies. There'll be a full schedule. Don't worry. So it's going to be a great day to celebrate all of us together. There'll also be giveaways as well. So we'll have some giveaways from the Foundry. They've been so lovely, and they've kindly given us 3 licenses for us to give away. So we're going to be giving away 3 Nuke licenses during the day. I'll also be giving away some Nuke courses as well, of my Hugo's Desk course. And there will be more giveaways as well. I'm also showcasing the showreel of my students as well during the day as well. So it's going to be great. It's going to be a great day. So don't forget to to connect and to make sure you have a notification on, and so that we can all kind of like celebrate visual effects all together. The good things and the bad things as well, of course. Without further ado, like, let's just get on with it. I just wanted to like also mention on the very beginning that this stream would not be possible without the support of BenQ. So BenQ, the amazing monitor manufacturer, BenQ has been supporting my channel for years now, and they are the reasons why we do these showreel reviews. They are the ones that support this show. So with that in mind, let me just show a short commercial from BenQ so that you can see what they've been up to. This is a monitor that you're going to see here, which is a monitor that I'm reviewing on my channel very soon, actually. It will be released. The review will be released very soon. So yeah, let's have a look at BenQ, which are the supporters of Hugo's Desk and also the Honest Show Reviews. Okay, well as always, thank you so much, BenQ, for supporting the channel and also supporting my community. And also, thank you so much for all the giveaways that you've been doing over the years. Thank you so much for all the support. So, okay, cool. So, without further ado, someone was saying about the monitors. That monitor that you saw there, the new SW27, that's the review I'm doing right now. That's the monitor that is just next to me here. I forgot to turn on the other camera, but it's just next to me here. Anyway, without further ado, let's just get this show on the road. So we have our first show review. I'm gonna see here, and as always, like, if you have questions, feel free to like put them on the chat. I'll try my best to kind of like answer them as we go. So, and by the way, a lot of people were asking me before, like on social media, whatever happened to my Nuke workshops. Don't worry, they're coming back. So I am editing some of the workshops that I did on Twitch during this year. I'm editing them into YouTube videos, so I'll be releasing them in January. And I will be back with workshops. I don't think I'll go back to Twitch. I don't think I enjoyed Twitch that much. I think I'm just going to stick around here on YouTube and just do the show reviews on YouTube, and then also the Nuke workshops on YouTube as well. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll come back to Twitch. I don't know. I need to kind of find out what exactly Twitch is about, because it's a bit of a different kind of platform to YouTube. So, okay, let's start the show review. I'm gonna see if they are here. I'm gonna just like open up the call here. Okay, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Go. Okay. Well.
Okay.
So, could the chat confirm that they can hear Sky? I haven't put you on the image yet, Sky, but I'm just bringing your showreel here so that everyone can see it as well while we're chatting. So apologies for that, Sky. I had some kind of technical issue here. Apologies for that. Sometimes it happens. It's sometimes a bit awkward, this thing. Zoom is like really unstable. I've noticed, like incredibly unstable. So so sometimes it just like doesn't work for some reason. But it's fine. Like we'll talk like this, and we'll be fine.
Oh, is it okay? I can't see your camera.
No,
I can't see.
So that's the technical problem I'm having, Sky. So you won't see my camera.
Oh.
Unfortunately, for some reason, I can't get my camera to work for you, but everyone else is seeing me. It's
Oh.
just that you won't see me. But yeah, I have a technical problem with Zoom right now. I'm not
Oh.
entirely sure what's going on, but don't worry. Like I'll probably have to turn it on and off again during the break or something. But I'm gonna share my screen anyway, so
Oh,
that you can
okay. Yeah.
see the show reel at least. Now you won't see me. Apologies for that. But everyone else is seeing me,
Okay.
okay? So don't worry about that. Now I'm
Okay.
gonna while we're talking, I'm gonna put the show reel running on the background, okay? I'm just like setting that up and closing all these windows because I had to like improvise a little bit here. So removing the sound if you don't mind, because the sound usually gets flagged by YouTube, so I can't really like put the sound.
Yeah,
But yeah,
sure.
people can see like okay, so now people can see you and they can see me. They just won't see you won't see me, but is that's okay, right? You don't
Yeah, yeah,
mind,
it's
right?
okay.
Like yeah,
It is okay.
you
Yeah.
don't mind. Everyone can see you and me. It's just that that you can't see me, but you can hear me fine. So we're all
Yeah.
up and running now. Everyone is watching a show reel, and everyone can see you as well. And I hope that yeah, Francesco, that's right. Zoom is very unstable. So for some reason it crashed my camera. That's fine. Like we're up and running now. Okay, so Sky, apologies for that. So before we even start, why don't you tell the audience here? Everyone is already watching your work anyway. Why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself? Tell us a little bit about where you're calling from, what you do, what's your experience. Yeah, give us a little bit of an intro.
Oh, yeah, sure. Uh, my name is Thonghchai Kosung. My nickname is Sky, so you can call me Sky. I have 4 year experience. Right now I am 27 years old. Yeah, I have experience as a senior compositor and a lead compositor for some project because right now I am a freelance compositor.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where have you worked? In which countries have you worked before? Have you only
Oh,
worked on the same country, or where are you calling? You're calling right now from Thailand, right?
yeah, yeah, I'm from Thailand. So did this project from my friend, and sometime I got a project from my friend. My friend is live in Vietnam, and they sent me the project to work with. And some in the first beginning of my work, I start to work with the big studio in Thailand.
Yeah.
It's called the Mang Studio. It's the one you see in the screen. And then I go to another company, and after 3 years, I become a freelance. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And so, have you worked on other countries as well? Or have you just always worked on Thailand?
I work in Thailand, but remote to other country.
But you've never left Thailand to work outside.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Uh, Before we even start the show reel, I'm really curious about Thailand. So how is the industry there? Like, is there a lot of work? What kind of visual effects are happening in Thailand? Is it film, commercial? Tell us a little bit about Thailand, about the scene,
Uh,
the visual effects scene in Thailand.
I think it's not much, but most of the VFX in Thailand industry is about the commercial. Is a lot of commercial work,
Hmm.
and but I'm looking for a film or some kind of this. Uh, the Thailand is don't have much studio VFX studio. The big one is I think is a three, 2 or 3, and the small one is maybe 10.
I see,
Yeah,
I see. And what about
yeah.
films? Is there like blockbuster films or visual effects
No,
heavy films in Thailand?
no, we don't have much a blockbuster film, but I'm not sure. But we are good at for the
I see.
advertising. Yeah,
And does the country do a lot of outsourcing? Is that what happens, or not really?
I think it's most is outsourced.
Okay, I see. I see. Cool,
Yeah.
man. Cool, excellent. I'm just like asking because I don't know really anything about Thailand, about the work there, and I'm always very. It's really cool on these showreel reviews. I always get very different types of countries calling in, and it's great because
Oh,
you get to like know some of the cultures, you know what's happening there, and which is that's the cool thing about YouTube. It's a
yeah.
worldwide event, so
Do Do you know Thailand before?
No, I've never been in Thailand. Never been.
Oh,
No, I've never been on that side. So yeah, I've traveled a lot, but that has not happened yet. No.
oh, yeah.
um, cool. Okay, well, first of all, I must say, like, your showreel is great. It's really good quality, and I've noticed that pretty much everything you have here is professional work, correct? Everything
Yes,
here, yeah, yeah.
yes.
So none of it is like personal work or student work, right?
No,
Yeah.
all it is a professional work.
Cool,
Is
cool.
have the client. Yeah.
So I'm going to say to you the same thing I mean, we'll go through the show reel and review it, but I'm going to say the same thing I usually say to people that bring professional work here to the show, to my stream. Because it's professional work, my feedback will be a different type of feedback, because obviously when we're dealing with professional work, as I said many times on my show, there is a lot of things that are involved in the project. So you have clients, you have feedback, you have deadlines, you have production issues, you have budget issues. There's all sorts of things that can affect the quality of a shot if it's a real production. I'm not saying that your shots look bad. No, not at all. Your shots look fantastic. But what I mean is, like, whenever reviewing professional work, I try my best to just keep in mind that potentially, if something doesn't look right, it might not be the artist's fault. You know what I mean? Because
Oh, yeah.
it might be the client's fault, or it might be the budget fault, or it might be the scheduling fault. I keep remembering that to people, and so usually I'm much more harsher with student showreels. The reason for that is because students have a lot of time on their hands. They have infinite amount of time to do something, which is something we never have in the industry. And so if they can't get it right with infinite amount of time, then I'm going to be very picky and very constructive feedback on it, because they should have made it better, because they had the time to do it. And I'm not saying they're lazy, it's just that they should have put in more time into the project. So keep that all in mind. Okay, cool. So again, Sky, like I say, your show reel is great. So let's just go through it really shot by shot. So
Okay.
first off, tell us a little bit about the first shot. So what's this about? This big fish
Oh, this
walking
one is
around here.
this one is a Netflix feature film. It's called Yin Yang Master. This is the first film I work for the company. This is the first time I work for the VFX industry. This one I have the VFX compositor lead compositor CG Soup to guide me how to do the shot.
I see. Okay, I
Yeah,
see.
this one is the first time for me to do the composting.
I see. I noticed that the showreel is a bit dark. Do you think that it's? I'm gonna just like change my settings on my
Uh,
monitor here, because my monitor is. I'm gonna just change it to display P3 so I can see it a bit better.
yeah, click that.
Yeah, because on Rexon Zone 9, I had my monitor on Rexon Zone 9, and I think it's a bit dark. I'm gonna put it on display P3 so I can see it a little bit better.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it does look a bit crushed. That's why I was wondering. But I can see that this is really cool, because you had like this guy with the blue suit on the set with some tracking markers, and this
Yeah.
this looks to me like a huge fish, like a fish-like person
Yeah,
that is
he's a
there.
fish guy. Yeah, he's
So
a fish
tell
guy.
us a little bit about the work that you've done here. So what kind of work involved here? Did you have to do some cleanup? Did you have to do some CG compositing? What happened here? What was the kind of work you did
Oh,
here?
for this one, I have to roto the pole in the front
Yeah.
and do the all the CG compositing here for this shot. But for the cleanup, is have some outsource do for us. Yeah,
Okay.
for the
Okay.
cleanup to
Okay.
remove this guy. Yeah, I
Cool.
just do the compositing for the CG to push
Cool.
this CG.
I think you did great. I don't really see any problems. I can see a really good combination of having the multiple AOVs and merging the lighting. Especially the lighting is quite nice. You've done a really good job with the lighting being integrated with the pillars around, and you have the lighting passing through with his face and everything. That's all looking really nice.
But for this job, we have like a years to make this sequence. This is why it can improve to be better.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
what I
yeah.
think.
So the only yeah, that's the thing. What I would say is that I do think that it could have improved for sure. I think the CG is looking a bit too sharp maybe for my taste, and I think it potentially needed to be perhaps more filtered or more integrated into the plate. It's very compressed, so it's hard to tell because the video quality is quite low at the moment of the video that you send me.
Oh,
But looking at the person behind him, like the dude, the actor that is behind this fish monster,
yeah.
you can kind of see that he's a bit softer and he's a bit more diffused, you know. And I think I'm kind of missing that on the CG, but just a little bit. I think you did a good job in the lighting integration. I think it's quite well made. But yeah, it's just that it doesn't look totally photoreal. It also does. Let's also be honest. It doesn't help that it's such a strange character. You know, like it's a very strange character. It's also very inhuman, so it doesn't help. That's never going to help to sell it in terms of looking
Oh,
real. You know, it's never going to be. It's always going to become a bit of a problem. But yeah, but well done, man. Well done.
thank you.
Second shot here, the monk films. So what's going on here? We have this devil moving a girl around, like
Oh, yeah, it's the same sequence. It's the same
same
sequence.
film,
It's
same film.
yeah, the same film.
Yeah,
It's is a Colosseum or something. Is the this late monster fight with this guy and the fish guy. He watching.
I see, I see. It's I
Yeah.
saw that you we don't see the clean plate unfortunately, but I see there's a glimpse of it here. So there was wire work, I guess, to pull him up, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. They have a Y and it's have I think it have some dolly or something
yeah,
around in the red monster here,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and then they just do the clean paint and give it to me. What I do for this shot is do the CG compositing and roto the guy for to you did you see around his neck? He's
yeah,
have
yeah. He's
a
been
hand,
hold.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. He's
yeah,
been hold by the monster. Yeah.
yes, yes.
Again, I think it's similar to the shot before. I think you did a great job. I think the design of the monster is not helping it for it to be for a real project. It's really stylized because obviously he looks very cartoonish, his face and everything. But that has nothing to do with your compositing skills. I think you did a good job with the lighting reference and lighting direction. I mean, it's very hard to tell the grain or the
Oh,
depth of
yeah,
field in between because it's a very compressed video. But I think you did good. It's a very stylized shot, and it kind of continues to the next shot, as I
yes,
can see. So the fight between them. It's funny that they had
yeah.
like
He's have
a
the dummy
stand-in.
here.
Yeah, they had like a. If Ian Fells was here, you would be very happy to see a stand-in there, like what he calls a stuffy.
Oh,
Usually
yeah,
he calls it a stuffy.
yeah,
So that's pretty cool. Okay, cool. And
yeah.
then okay, cool. So
This
let's.
one is a bit difficult one because the position of the horn, the director need to change the position, so we have to remove his hand and put the CG hand on it.
I see. I see.
Yeah,
I see.
it
Yeah,
is a
because you
difficult
had to
one.
like yeah, so you had to replace the entire hand there. Yeah, I see
Yeah,
what you mean. So
yeah.
yeah, did you had any scan for the actor, or did you guys had to like do the full hand by from scratch? Did you had a scan for the actor
They have the digital double for this guy,
for
but the
for the
quality is not good. It's just you need to do like do the CC or do
yeah?
something. Yeah,
But you did quite good in the fact that it's so motion blurred that I don't believe it becomes a problem. You can hardly see it. So then he punches it. Then we have the fish again. I think this
yeah.
shot has the same issue. If you look closely here, in terms of diffusing and in terms of sharpness from this face to this dude here, I think it's a bit too sharp and too diffuse and also too bright perhaps, and
Oh,
so it's looking a little bit off. But again, it's a very tricky thing because it's such a stylized character. I don't think it will ever fit into this plate. So
for
that's the
this
problem.
this character, the director they need to be more wet on it
Yeah,
because he is a fish.
yeah,
He just They just need to make it more wet and like shiny or something.
Yeah,
That's why
exactly.
it look like this. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's the that's what I was saying on the beginning of the stream. At the beginning of our showreel review, like because this has a real production, I have no idea what kind of comments
Oh.
and feedback you had. So it's really hard to tell. I'm saying it from my view as a like from a creative point of view, which I have nothing to do with that, of course, because the
Oh.
project was
Yeah.
delivered. So
Yeah.
now, if anything, as well, the only thing that kind of catched my eye though is that I believe the motion blur is very low. I believe you probably needed more motion blur on the hand because
Oh.
because you see if you go from frame by frame, you can kind of see that the hand should have been blurring more. So that's one thing that is missing, and it would have helped to integrate the shot. You have some lovely motion blurs on the shots before, so I would say that it would have been nice if it had motion blur on. And yeah, but sometimes it's not easy because sometimes we don't get given the vector passes or the vector blur passes so that we can put motion blur. But on the other hand as well, we can all like I faked motion blur in the past using 2D motion blur. That also works really well.
Oh.
And I can see the dude is there as well with the suit. That's quite nice. That's quite nice. Okay, cool. So moving on there. Next, you have the breakdown, which is always nice to have the breakdown. Yeah, you see, at the end there it was even worse in terms of motion blur because this movement is so drastic that it should have streaked quite a lot there on the motion blur. You see, you should have had like a very blurred, just like when you look at if you look at your hands moving, they would blur a lot, especially because it's 24 frames per second. So.
Yeah, I see.
Okay, tell me a little bit about this shot. What's going on here? This dude on the train. I think this is like an underground station or something, isn't it?
Yeah. This one is a music video from Korean.
Yeah.
Is I'm not sure about the name. It's a Hush Hush. Is the name is Hush Hush. This one is really short time. I need to deliver the whole music video in 1 month.
Oh
I'm
my
not sure
God.
it's a short time or yeah. And I have this one is the other company did it, but the client don't like it, and then they throw it to me and ask me to try to fix and improve everything
Yeah.
in 1 month. Yeah.
And how
And
many
this is
shots? How
why
many shots was this?
I think it's a 30 or 40. I'm not sure.
Oh
It's a
my
lot.
God. I mean,
It's a green screen or something, but they have the camera tracker, everything. The CG render. But I have to redo the key screen, the keying, and do the CG integration.
yeah.
The CC. Yeah.
I have to say, Sky, I mean, yes, there are some issues on the roto and some issues on the integration and some issues on the edges, but it's amazing that you did all these shots in a month. So there's no way you could have done it any better. There's no real easy way to do any of this. So congratulations anyway. I think you did good for the time you had. But yeah, definitely if you had more time, I think the keying could have been improved and the edges are a bit sharp, and I think the CG, maybe the depth of field looks a little bit fake. There's a few things going on here that are, but also we have to keep in mind that it's a music video. It's not supposed to, it's not supposed to look like a photoreal film. It's a music video. So I think you did really well.
This one is a render from Unreal Engine. I have a problem with the depth from Unreal. I don't know. It's a bit. And the CG render have a lot of flickering,
Yeah.
I don't know how they set up for this one.
Yeah, is that from Unreal as well? The rendering, yeah. The depth of field in Unreal is quite tricky because it's usually a fake depth of field. It's not easy to make it look good, and so often, what I've done in the past when I've used Unreal stuff is that I've done the CG in Unreal, so I would get the AOVs that I could get from out of Unreal, but then I would load the entire scene into Maya and then render out some utility passes in Redshift, so that I would have a depth pass, I would have a vector pass, I would have object IDs, I would have more extra layers and passes to help me with, and then I could employ like a proper depth of field using a nicer depth of field map from Redshift. The last project I did, actually, I even went one step further, which was I did the render, an extra render in deep, so that then I could have deep information to load it into the bokeh node, so that you could have better edges with the depth of field. So it's always the best option to use deep information to do good depth of field, you know. So
I never come a deep before.
Sorry, what?
I never come a deep before. The deep, yeah.
Yeah, so the deep, so what usually happens is like you have the render, which is normal CG and 16-bit EXR, and then you have a deep layer which has all the deep information. And then what you can do is you can use a node in Nuke called the recaller, and the re-deep, and what you can do is like you can bring in the deep information, just the deep information, not the pixels information, and you can plug it into the 2D render that you had before. And so then you can then read the deep information inside the bokeh effect, the bokeh node in Nuke, or you can read the deep information into the 3D system so that you can see the coordinates of stuff. So that works quite nicely. And it's a good way of you bypassing some of the problems in Unreal, because Unreal is really not ready for production. It's a game engine. It's not really like, as much as they can try, it's not really there. It's not prime time yet. Cool, excellent. So
do you have any idea to improve like this shot to make it to?
Yeah, I think from the very beginning, like you can clearly see when you look at the CG, you can clearly see that the depth of field is not looking realistic. It looks like almost like a blur instead of a depth of field. So the quality of the depth of field needs to have some more bokeh. It has to have breakup. It has to have, the typical chromatic aberration bokeh and typical lens distortion artifacts. It's lacking artifacts from a lens, the realistic artifacts that you get, the bowing from the lenses on the back, you get like the bokehs, like it's missing all those things. And then on the other hand, the integration of the actor, of the singer, is not completely well realized because the lights are all green and the lights passing through are green, and then he has a lot of blue lights. It's very tricky. It's very hard to tell where that light is coming from, so it's looking a bit as a cutout. And also I think because he's so sharp, because you can kind of see his shoulder is still sharp, I kind of feel that there's too much defocusing going on. I think this pillar here and that pillar on the back there should be sharper. I think it has the f-stop is too low on the CG, so I think that's the other thing for this shot as well. Now the next shot here, I love that there's like a grip guy here with some lights. What the hell? So for this shot here, the biggest problem you have here again is depth of field. So as a wide shot, like when you have a wide lens like this, normally it's true, everything kind of gets quite sharp, and you can kind of see that on the raw plate. If you look at these markers on the back there, they're quite sharp, so it is true. But as he gets closer to camera, what usually happens if you were shooting this for real, if there was a DOP and he was actually on a street to film, what the director of photography would start doing, you would start focusing on the actor, and then the defocusing would start to ramp up on the back. So by the time he gets closer to us, I would expect to have more defocusing happening on the back, because the camera is kind of racking to catch up with him, So that's problem number one in my view. But, Sky, keep in mind that all of this is impossible if you just have a month to do 40 shots, okay? So there's no way you're going to do all of this that I'm saying if you only have... Because if you have 40 shots for 1 month, that's 2 shots per day, okay? So you have to do 2 shots per day. There's no way you're going to do all these notes. I'm giving you notes of if you had like a couple of weeks, like if you had a week per 2 shots, like imagine if you had like 4 or 5 days per shot or something, like something like that. So you can really go deep into it. The other problem that you have as well is that the light wrap is too much. Like you can kind of see that there's no reason for you to have so much light wrapping happening on the legs and so much light wrapping happening on the arms, because the background is not that bright. He's not like on the sun. He's not on the surface of the sun. So there's too much light wrapping happening, and it makes the whole thing look very soft. And what's
Oh,
happening now is that E looks very soft, and then the CG looks very sharp. So you have a discrepancy between the two layers. And then on top of that, it's missing lens distortion. You can kind of see it from here from this pillar. This pillar is too straight. I'm missing
oh,
lens distortion applied to the CG. And I'm missing some kind of, usually lenses are much softer, especially on a night shot, because this is during the night. So when you shoot at night with a camera, the lenses, you usually have to put the f-stop quite low. And so what happens is the lens becomes more blurry on the edges. So you start getting more and more blur on the edges and more sharp on the center. And so I'm missing depth of field on the sides, and I'm also missing lens distortion on the sides to make it look more like a nighttime shoot, So that's the thing. It's too sharp. But again, like I said, there's no way you're going to do all of this if you had a month to do this. So now this shot is actually the best one of all three, because on this one, because his color is actually quite matching the background, the blue to blue, that's really nice. It's also very hard to notice any issues with the key because he's dressed in black, his hair is black, it's much easier to key into roto. The depth of field looks okay, although I would say that the depth of field looks too much like a video game. It doesn't really have the proper bokeh. It doesn't have the proper artifacts that you get from a night shoot. So if you look at reference photos from someone photographing at night, especially on a alley like this, and then you have houses there, you would get pings of light and bokehs. And again, you would get lens distortion, you get blurs on the edges. There's those things missing, Yeah, but again, don't be too upset about this, because there's no way you're going to be able to do all of this in such a short amount of time, So yeah, have a think of my notes as just like wishful, you wish that you had the time to do that. Okay, so next up, what's happening with this dude here on the forest?
Oh, it's she. It's not the dude.
Oh, sorry.
It's
I couldn't see it.
The TV series from Korean.
Okay, cool.
Is called Drink Now, Work Later.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, something. Yeah, and they shoot in the, I think it's a April. I'm not sure about the weather, but they need to make it snow.
Yeah, it was probably shot on the summer, on spring or something.
Yeah.
So you converted from springtime to snowy time. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it is the same movie.
You did a really good job. As someone I've lived in Sweden for 3 years, and I've experienced winter in ice and snow for 3 years there, and I think you did great. I think it looks exactly like usually the forest. Though I used to like, me and my wife Anna, we used to like walk around on the forest all the time with our dog, and this is exactly how it looks like. So I think you did a good job.
I never see a real snow before,
So you just watched photos and checked, yeah.
Yes.
Also, the cool thing about this is that they did a really good job with the set, because the set itself is dressed to look like it's snowy. So they did a really good job with putting white on the set and making it look like it's snow. It's very well dressed. You can kind of see that this is a high production value show, because it's really well made in terms of set design. But yeah, you did a good job. That's good. That's cool. Then you have these hogs. I guess they are hogs. I can see this like people being.
I'm not sure.
Boars. Okay, boars. So what's happening here? Like, it's like you did the CG integration, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I do the CG integration and do the cleanup for this. I need to remove these two dude and put the ball.
Why were they there? Just for the sand, right? That was why, right?
Yeah. You see?
Oh my God!
And the position. Yeah.
And so, and what is this for? Is it the same film as before, the snow film?
Yeah, it's the same show with the snow one.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to say. This looks great. I mean, you did a really good job integrating it. And then there's another shot with the boar as well, or the hog, and he's like inside a thing here. That's also looking great.
It's like the boar attack day camp,
Yeah.
It's that they camping and then the ball come
Yeah.
to attack or something.
Did you had to move the pillar, that blue tube, or was it already moved on set?
This one is on set.
Okay. Okay. Cool. That really helps to sell the show, the shot. Now, what's going on here with the two girls talking here? Is
Oh,
that like the
she's
snow?
just talking.
Yeah, it's the snow again. You're trying to make
Yes.
it look like it's
This,
snowing.
this one is a bit, for me, it's a bit difficult to key. Can you tell me where we can key this? Can you go back a bit?
Yeah,
Like
this thing
this
here.
one,
Yeah.
this one is a bit hard because this is blue and a bit white. For me, it's a bit hard to
Yeah,
key
no,
this
no,
one.
this is not just for you. Most people would find that like very difficult to key. They should have really used green instead of blue on the shot like this, but because of the colors that are around it, I think you did a good job. But there's really no magic way of keying this better or worse. Like it's always the same tricks as usual. You try to do some soft keying, multiple keys. You try to build your keys in sections with a lot of soft keying, and then maybe use an IBK to have even more soft key,
Yeah.
and then maybe try to have, if you pick up a lot of blue, then maybe an edge extending to try to extend it. But it would definitely be sections. I would definitely think that you would probably have to key this lock of hair there on the back here with a key light or an IBK, and then the top would be another one, and maybe the top one would be another one. I would definitely split it into parts and then merge it, and
Oh,
then definitely not expect to make it a key from one. I would definitely start splitting it up, because you'll need different settings. Like this blue is much brighter,
yeah.
so you'll need like a different setting for this blue, and then a different setting for the blue on the top, and then a different setting for the blue on the back. And then the jacket, I mean, it's probably a bit easier, but also the one on the back is much more easy with the key light. But the one on the the one on the back could even be done with the Luma key, but the one on the front, the luminosity is very similar, so this one might need to be a key light with more soft way. And then anything left over, you would have to fill it in with a rotopaint tool or rotoscoping. So, as long as you can build a good inner core with rotoscoping, and then from there you just build your softness. There's no secret sauce here. Like, there's no way. There's no like there's no way I can tell you, oh, do this. It might not work. I would have to try it. I would have to try it myself. But definitely, I think you did a good job. I'm more concerned about the background itself. I feel like, and I'm sure this is maybe a note you got from the director or from the production, I feel that they went too far with the depth of field. Like, I think it's too defocused, and it's looking very murky. It's not really looking like proper depth of field looks like, which is a bit sharper and also a little bit more contrasted. I just feel like it's a little bit too much. But
Oh,
yeah, the key, just split it as much as you can. I think that would be what I would suggest to you to do. You know.
yeah. Thank you.
What about this shot here? The shot. Oh yeah, you did a bunch
Oh,
of
yeah.
removal here. Is this from the same
Yeah.
show or another different show?
No, it's a different show. This one is a feature film. It's called Invitation to a Murder or something.
Yeah.
It's yeah. I do the whole thing. I do the cleanup and do the CG integration. Yeah, and do the compositing. You see, I clean up a lot for this one.
Yeah.
Roto, the
And then you had to remove the cars, and there's also a CG car on the end, isn't it?
yes, you have the CG car.
Yeah, the
and
two of them
they,
there.
they, for this one, they need the London,
Yeah.
the old London or something. It's from the London in 1980 or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So hear me out, and I'm sure you didn't have the time to do this, but if you had the time, I would say one thing that I saw it immediately. This car here moving in on the curve, you have the flashlight, like you have the lamps, the lights of the car, and it's illuminating the floor. But you see, it's not illuminating the so much light would illuminate this side of the sidewalk. You would also affect the shadow of this car on the floor, and it would affect the shadow of her. So you would have had to create some interactive shadows, or CG would have to... Basically, CG would have had to model this CG car here. This car as a CG... Not model, I mean put like a model in CG just to have the shadow, not to do the CG of the car, but just put like a 3D model there, even if it's a simple one, just to create a shadow. And so then you would have had to clean up this shadow and then have the real shadow with the light interacting, you know, because it's missing the light interacting. So that's the first thing I saw immediately, because there's no way a car like this, especially if it's going to do so much flares, there's no way this much flare and this much light would not show up on this side, you know. You would have seen this shadow moving, and you would have seen...
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you would have seen the shadow on the floor here moving because of this light, and you would have seen the rim light, an extra rim light on these cars. These cars should have been illuminated as a rim light from this vehicle. But you can't really do that in comp. You would have to have help from CG. So CG would have had, like the CG department, would have had to like basically fill in the CG space on the CG track the same way they put these cars in. They could have put two CG cars in here and also on here, and then they can switch them off so they wouldn't show up on this render, but their shadow would show up, you know. So then you would have a shadow pass. Once you have the shadow pass, you would have to clean the shadow that is there, remove it completely, and then add the new shadow that you have from CG. A lot of work, and I doubt that you would have the time to do all of this, because maybe it's like not a production that had a lot of time, but I'm just like letting you know that for next time, maybe ask your fellow CG artists to try to help you with this, because it would have been nice. But it's a small touch though. Like, I don't think maybe 90% of the population won't even care, you know. So it's not like a big deal. I think the rest looks fine. You know, yeah, I think it's really it's the main thing that I looked at right away, you know.
I see.
Okay, so this shot here, that's the same show, I guess, isn't it?
Yes. This one I just need to make it day to night for this one, because it's they shoot in the daytime and I need to make it nighttime.
Yeah, you did a great job. It looks great. Light integration looks great. A bit of fog looks great. Especially these lights are really well integrated. I don't think anyone would ever notice that this was not shot at night. So I think maybe the moon, one thing I would say to you is that, and this is a problem on TV shows and films all the time, they always want to keep the moon normal, you know, so that you can see the moon. The moon is beautiful, but you know how it is when you go outside and watch the moon is just a white speck. You don't see anything, because if you would have exposed the camera to this environment here, because it's very low light, that means the camera is exposed to the maximum to try to capture that, and this light is overexposed already. Now, if this light is overexposed, the moon would be a white, completely overexposed white circle, you know, because there's no way a camera would be able to capture the floor. Like, the camera would never be able to capture, the dynamic range of the camera would never reach the lamp that is on the building there and also the moon like this. It would never be able to capture both. I think the moon needs more light, for sure. And yeah, just like Nub says here on the chat, it is literally impossible to capture the moon on a camera, and that is because it's so bright. It's so bright that you would have to the scene would be pitch black for you to see the moon on the camera. Because our eyes are great, you know, our eyes are amazing in terms of dynamic range. We can see very well the two notions, but cameras suck at that. And you can just try this by pointing your iPhone to the moon, and you can't see anything. You can't see a thing. So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
See. But it's really well done. And what about this shot? Is this also the same show? I guess
it's the same show. They use the train to become to go to island or something.
Okay, cool.
I'm not sure. Yeah, it's the same show.
Looks good. I don't really see anything. I think you did a good job. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to tell, but like I would say though that perhaps because it's daytime outside, I would say that the outside perhaps should have been a bit brighter. But that's definitely a note from the director and the producer. Like they would have asked for a specific lighting, but I just feel like it's in my view, it looks like a bit dark outside, but maybe that's the time of day. It could be. And then you have, what is that? Is that a CG
A
dog?
dog.
Yeah. Okay.
No, they shoot the dog.
Oh, separately.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yes. And they asked me to put the dog to this shot.
But the dog is not moving, is it?
Yeah, no, it's not moving.
Yeah. That's the only thing that I would say is that it's not moving. It should have been moved. So they should have shot it with a little bit more movement. Yeah, that's a good shot. And then this is the same show, I'm assuming. So you
Yes.
put some
Yes.
bars and you put some fog. That's looking great.
Yeah, this one is at the glass, the window glass.
Yeah, and then you put the
Yeah.
reflections of the window glass and also the glass.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that looks great. Very well done. Very good work. And then we have. Oh, you had to take a
Yeah, this
person
one
out.
is just a clean up. Yeah, just a clean up.
So what? They didn't like that actor? Was that?
I don't know. They just asked for the
He's
cleanup.
fired. He's fired. That's funny. Okay, and what about this? What is this?
This one I'm not sure about. This is from the commercial. I'm not sure about the name of the show,
Yeah.
and I just put it in, but I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know the name of the show.
I would say one thing though, that so far from all the shots that you have on your showreel, this is definitely the worst shot you have on the showreel. Not because of
Maybe I need to
anything.
remove it.
I think you should remove it because the smoke. It's not because of you. It's because the smoke layer or pass. I don't know if the smoke is CG or an element, but the smoke is
Yeah, it's
just
element.
it's an element. It's just not working for this shot. That smoke is not gonna. It's not realistic enough to be there. It's too blurry, too wispy. It just doesn't fit in. I think you should take it out for sure. And also, it doesn't really look that nice. It's not a nice shot. So, and then we go back to the music video, the amazing music video you did in a month. So yeah, I mean, same notes as before. I think it's exactly the same problem we had on the shot before. Depth of field is not looking completely realistic. I think lighting integration is also not looking completely realistic. Too much light wrap, too much blur on the edges on him. But yeah, like I said, if you're doing 40 shots, hats to you because you did a great job. So then we have this here. So this is duplication.
This is a music video from Megan.
Cool.
And this one is really hard time for me because I only have 3 or 4 days to finish this.
Yeah.
I need to put these two together and do the cleanup in the background.
Yeah.
This one I don't have time to do the roto. Then for some shot, the next one, I have to use the operation mode in Nuke, like the divide multiply, and I try to do a different way to put them together.
Yeah.
Because if you see, they have the dancer in the background. They need to put it in together. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I
And
think
the camera is moving a lot.
yeah. If you only had 3 days, man, I think you did great.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that they let you put this on the reel for this specific section here. I'm very surprised that these kind of things would never be like at the mill. We would never be able to show these things like where they're changing the shape of the person. You see here, like they're actually warping her stomach here.
Yeah.
So this is the kind of thing that we used to do at the mill all the time. Like we would have. Oh man, there was people at the company that only did this, like sorting out soggy arms, sorting out like double chins, sorting out bellies. Like there were people, flame artists at the company that would only do this the whole day, just fixing things, and we would never be able to show it because it's like they never allow us to. Like the client, I mean, the client never allows us to show it because they don't want people to know and this and that. So I'm surprised that it's there. But I think they did a good job considering they only had 3 days. I mean, yes, could it have been better? Yes, it could, but it's a music video. It's like very fast. I mean, I think you did a great job. I don't think there's anything there that would be a problem. Okay, going on to this TV. What's going on here?
This one is from a feature film, and most of the show I do the screen replacement, and I just put it in. Is the film? I'm not sure about the name. efficient or something. Uh, yeah. For this show, I do a lot of the screen replacement, and this why I put it here. Maybe should I remove it?
No. I think this looks great. It's really well made. I really like the way that it's flickering and the way that it's integrated and the lighting. I think you should keep it for sure.
Okay.
And then we go back to the same show that we had on the beginning of the showreel.
Yeah, but this one is don't have the breakdown. It just put it. I just put a shot here.
Yeah, but these look great. These look better than the first shots because the lighting integration and the lighting is actually matching better. So with the dude, with the CG character, so these shots look good. I think you should keep them. And then you have the fight again.
Yeah.
With the monster.
Yes.
Now this shot here, like the shot before he jumps, this one here, like it's too he's too sharp. Like he needs more blur, more. It needs to be more blended to the background compared to the actor that is next to him, and that's why it looks a bit too CG. And this, as opposed to the next shot, this shot looks fantastic. Like the motion blur and the level of depth and the level of blurriness looks absolutely perfect. So you did a fantastic job with this one and also with the next one as well. Of course, it helps that you have motion blur to hide certain things, but it's very well done. And again, you see, we have the fish again with the same issue. You see there, like we have motion blur on this lamp, for example, but then we don't have motion blur on the fish. Like I'm really missing the motion blur. We should have had motion blur here, especially because now it's harder to tell because we see other things with motion blur, and we don't see him with motion blur. So it's a bit weird. That's the immediate thing that I noticed on this shot. Yeah.
I'm not sure. Maybe because the note from the director, they want the.
Could be that. Yeah. They didn't want it. The motion blur. Maybe they didn't want it.
Yes.
They could be. That happens all the time. Those kind of things. So yeah, I understand. Cool, man. I mean, a fantastic job. I'm gonna keep it running here. Very good job. I think you did great. I wish you all the best, and I think you should remove that shot that I mentioned. I also think from a point of view of quality on your showreel, you have a lot of high quality stuff here, and I think you could probably take out a few of the shots of the music video, for example. Not all of them need to be there. I think it's just not the same level of quality as the rest of the work. Like if I scroll through the showreel real quickly. All of this really is good. All of this is really good. This shot of the music video, I think you could have skipped. I don't believe you need it. Because perhaps what I would say is that maybe perhaps this one is a little bit better. Definitely this one is better. So this one I would keep for sure. The blue one on the back, the back in here. I think this you would keep. And then these I would keep for sure. They all look great. The hogs look great. That's all good. I think these should stay. They're all really high quality. This one I would keep. Never mind the light. I mean, that's something that would have to be done by CG, and they would have had to do it. All of these I think I would keep. The dog I would skip. It's really weird that the dog doesn't move. I feel like it's just not giving you a good service on the showreel. This I would definitely remove the bird with the smoke. I don't think it works. And then the music video, I don't think you need to. You could probably keep this one as opposed to the other one you had on the beginning instead.
Oh, I see.
And then these two I would keep because these are good comps. I think you did a good job here. The TV I would keep, and these two I would keep. And then I think I would keep almost everything. It's just a few shots that I would definitely remove because they're just not helping your showreel. They're not helping anything here. So yeah, but that's it, man. I good job, very good work, and I guess. Do you have any questions or anything you want to ask or anything else that you wanted to talk?
No. I don't know. Okay, yeah. Thank you for your comment. Yeah.
No problem.
Maybe I can improve myself for the next show or next job. Yeah. I will try to improve myself every day.
Of course, and also like you're always welcome. You can always come back. We can review the showreel again. We've done that many times. Multiple people have come back to the show. So yeah, no, well done, man. Well done, Sky. I hope you all the best. I hope you get work all the time. You're very talented. I think your showreel is very high quality, especially for the time pressures that you've had, and also for your experience. You don't have a long career. It's been short so far. Like, you haven't been working for a long time, and you already have achieved very high quality on your showreel. So congratulations to that, and I hope you all the best. So.
Thank you very much.
Cool. I think I'm with that in mind. Let's just yeah. Well, goodbye and have a great day. And I'll talk to you next time. Thank you so much for everything,
Yeah,
Sky.
you too.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Okay, let me just stop sharing here with you, and I'm gonna call the call here. So, thank you so much, Sky, for being here. And I guess we're gonna do a break. We've been on for an hour and 10. We always try to do breaks. I should have done the break before, but I'll do the break now. Again, apologies for the technical issues. I'm really sorry that happened. Like, it took a while for this to get on the floor, this show review, but we have another show review coming. I hope they're here, because I couldn't get hold of them. Let me just see if they messaged me back. I hope so, because let's see here. Yeah, I'll check this on the break if they're here. If they're not here, then we'll have to improvise. So you already know how this works. I really want everyone to stretch their legs. I want everyone to kind of like drink some water, get away from your desk for a minute. I'll be off for... Oh, yeah, cool. Joe, you're here. Okay, cool, great. Yeah. So we'll do a break now, 10 minutes. I'll time it, so you can time it as well if you want. Make sure you leave your desk, walk a bit, drink some water, get some blood flowing on your legs. So I'll see you all very soon, and I'll see you in exactly 10 minutes. Okay, I'm back. Thank you so much for all of you to be sticking around still here. We have one more review to go. I was trying to like solve my problem, my technical issue under the hood there, but I couldn't really do it. I need to reboot my machine, so I need to like can't obviously do that now. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's going on. It's fine. Like, I'll sort it out for the next stream. So apologies for the... It doesn't really change for any of you. It's just that when I'm talking with someone, that person doesn't see me. That's the only thing I need to sort out. I've had this issue before, but like, Zoom is just not helping. Zoom, for some reason, there's something wrong with Zoom right now. I'm not entirely sure what it is. So, not sure. I'm going to see if I can sort it out later. Now, I've just posted on the chat the giveaway. Don't forget, we're going to have the giveaway at the end of the stream. And also, I'm not sure you know, but I have extended my promotion. Like, I was doing a 50% promotion on my Nuke courses. I have 2 courses right now. I was doing a 50% promotion on Black Friday. And so I've decided to extend it, the Black Friday deal, for until the 8th. I'm going to put it on the screen so that you can see it. So basically, if everyone wants, I put the link on the chat there. My Nuke course, maybe wait for the end of the stream, because I'm, of course, doing a giveaway, so you want to see if you can get the giveaway, of course. But yeah, I've extended my Black Friday 50% sale of my Nuke course all the way to the 8th of December. This is to celebrate World VFX Day. So from today, I'll be extending the 50% off all the way until the 8th of December with World VFX Day, just to celebrate together with everyone else. So keep that in mind. If you are interested, I've left a link on the chat. And cool. Yeah, no, I can't really use Discord because Discord stream is not good. It's very low quality. It's 720p, and the camera issues would be the same. So the problem I'm having is something else, which I need to get into. I'll keep using Zoom for the time being. Okay, so without further ado, let's just do the last showreel review, and then we'll be off. That's pretty much it. So I'm gonna just open up Zoom here. Hopefully they're here already. So I'm just gonna see. I'm just opening it Zoom now, and then we are off. Let's just have a look here. Okay, so I'm going to start. Let's see if they are here. Hopefully they are. Oh, look at that. And suddenly it works now. So they will see me now, which is good. That's really good news. Nub, you're asking me any general tips for... Yeah, by the way, you can come into the showreel review now. I believe you're here already. Let's just open up here. I believe you're here already. Yeah, you are. So yeah, so a general tip I would say, I mean, you could always look back at my showreel reviews, because we've done a lot of showreel reviews in the past, including generalist reels, but bring your showreel over. I'll give you some tips, like bring it over, send it over. I'm happy to do it. Yeah, Michael, I'm not going to pay for Nitro for Discord. I already pay for Zoom. I need Zoom for my work. I'll just continue using Zoom. I now I know what's wrong, because now I can see, and I mean, I might as well tell why this was happening. So I'm going to just share with you my screen to show you. So you see in Zoom here, I have multiple cameras. So I have the Blackmagic ATEM Mini Pro, which is the one that is attached to my Blackmagic Pocket here, 6K. And that's usually this one. Now I cannot use that camera, because if I switch it on here, you see it does a loop. So anyone watching would see a loop. So if I'm talking with someone, they would just see an infinite loop. Now you are seeing me, but what I had to do was I had to do a splitter. So my camera has two HDMI outs. One HDMI out goes to the ATEM Mini Pro, which is what's broadcasting to YouTube. And then the other HDMI goes to my second Blackmagic card on my Mac Pro, which is this one, which you can kind of see here, which is a Decklink Extreme 3D, which is the card I used to capture 3D stereoscopic. Now, I now know why it wasn't working before. So the reason it wasn't working before was because I had OBS open, and for some reason OBS is blocking this camera. So now I know, I've just discovered just on this last second that it's OBS, that it's breaking this. So now I know. So now I have a fix for it, so which is good. But anyway, let's bring Johannes in. Apologies that you've been waiting for a while now. I'm going to, just unmute yourself and just show up here. Okay,
Hello.
Cool. Hello there. So I'm going to put the thing live for everyone to see. So, hi, Johannes. How you doing? Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you so much for saying yes to coming over to the show, and I'm glad I fixed the camera, so at least you can see me, which is good.
Yeah, I wondered for a while, but it took forever to kind of finish my showreel. So it's still not done. So,
But yeah, thank you so much for showing. And why don't you tell everyone here, the audience, where you're calling from, what's up with you, what you've been doing in your career? Give us a bit of info from you.
So yeah, I don't really have a career yet. So I'm in Berlin, Germany, and I just started learning Nuke 3 years ago in SAE Institute, and studied visual effects, and then I had a 3-month internship, and then went back to SAE, and now I kind of teach there. So not really teaching; it's more like a tutor or something.
Ah, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome. And what do you teach?
Nuke.
Nuke. Okay, great.
Oh, Photoshop.
Photoshop as well.
Related.
And so, okay, so what's your plan? Like you sent me the showreel. I'll put it up running in loop in a second, but before we talk a little bit more. So what's your plan? Like, do you want to? Is there a place you would like to work? What kind of type of work would you like to do in the future?
I don't really know, to be honest.
Okay.
I experienced industry workflows for 3 months, and it was okay. It was different from what I expected, and I think for me a nice place would be a studio with just 20 people or something.
Okay. Okay. You prefer like you prefer like short term and smaller productions? Is that the thing that you're thinking?
No, I'd like to be employed, but
on a big
not with that much people. So I have more freedom to say I'd like to do this and that, and not just doing the same thing every day.
I see. I see.
I think I can do more, right?
I see. Oh, cool. Okay, cool. Well, with that in mind, like I'm going to and yeah, I've been in Berlin a few times. It's a really lovely city, so that's cool. I just been in Berlin a few months ago, actually, in vacation for a few days.
I saw too late.
So just let you know that there's no point of you watching the YouTube stream because it's gonna be very delayed. So I'm gonna be sharing. I mean, to do the review, I'm going to be sharing my screen so that you can see live what I'm scrubbing through your showreel. So the stream is very delayed. It's like 20 seconds delayed, so there's no point of you trying to follow there. So I'm just going to put your showreel here, looping, and then we can go from there. So I'm going to take out the sound like I usually do, because the sound is always a pain in YouTube, so I try to get rid of it. And I'm going to like make us a little bit bigger here on the corner here. So so yeah. So everyone is already watching your showreel already. So before we even go into shot by shot, and I'll take us out of that place if we need to see a shot. What is this showreel all about? Tell me. Like, is it mostly? Is there any professional work here, or is it all kind of personal work?
Most of the things is personal work or university projects, okay. But there are some small, bigger productions. But for the really big one from the studio I worked in, I'm not quite sure what the NDA, like, it's not clear to me, so I better not say the movie name, okay, or a company's name, just to be safe.
Yeah, to be safe is always best for not to do it until you get absolutely certain that you can talk about it. That's for sure. I would advise you to do that as well. Okay, cool. And so, is this showreel public? Is it like already out there on the internet for people to check out?
No, not at all.
Okay.
It's also not done. Like, it's 3 minutes long, so I kind of put everything in to get your feedback on what I should keep, what not.
Okay.
And yeah, it was kind of a starting point to talk about it to get closer to finish. And still, my most the shot I mostly like is still not done. So.
Okay. Cool. Excellent. Well, you came to the right place. Okay, let's go through it then. It's, yeah, like you said, it's really long, and absolutely you don't need this much, but you have some amazing shots here as well in the middle of all of it. And so let's just go through it for a while. And okay, so let's start with the first one. So what's going on here? Tell us a little bit about this project, about this person looking at the camera.
Yeah, he's trying to make a cat sign a contract.
A cat sign a contract. Okay, I'm gonna make us a little bit smaller here on the corner. So
a weird contract. He wants to kill the cat at some point, but the cat is under, like, it's starving, and he promises to give it food to make like a potion of it someday. And that's weird contract. I didn't like the movie's intention at all, but I was so bored. I had no job at the time and just wanted to comb something. And they called me, and I found that really nice and high quality. Also, the actor is really known in Germany, so yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, and so this entire shot, this is like the result. Is it for a short film, or is it for something else? Is it a short film, or is it?
Yeah, I think it's like 13 minutes. It's from Film Uni Babelsberg.
Okay.
A really big film uni here.
Okay. Yeah. I see. Okay, cool. Well, I understand why you started. It's really good makeup as well. Although if I would say, like, this probably required some cleanup, this area here, on the lip and the mouth, you can kind of see that there's like a bit of a breakup from the makeup there as well. But so you got all this CG, which is like the background there. Let me just go through the actual original shot. Where is the original shot? So this was shot on a studio, I guess, isn't it? Like, there's a bunch of markers there. I can see that there's like the flag of light there. It's really painful that they put like a really bright white light just behind his head.
Yeah, it was.
And you get like this lovely light wrapping that you cannot keep because, of course,
also,
it's not there.
That wasn't originally my shot. I got handed over to me from another compositor who was like about to hop off from the project
Okay.
because he was busy. So he did the roto for everything, and I got the CG, and we had to re-render CG 3 times. At some point, just didn't work. Then the cameras didn't match, so I had to match move, and I match move in Nuke because I have no other tool. So it doesn't quite align, like focal length wise. And yeah, I had to fix a lot of stuff with the roto and yeah, with the edge, and still kind of painful. And I had to hop off from the show earlier too, so yeah, it was quite a hustle with that shot.
Oh, I bet. But you did really good. Like, I think you did really good. I don't really see any major issues. I mean, if I look really closely, I feel like perhaps I think the edges are fine, but I feel like you did a good job. I'm just like looking at closely here. There's a bit of little few wobbles here and there, especially on the connections between the ear there on this side, and there's like a few issues that sometimes your roto and key kind of wobbles a bit, and there's also like this slight kind of like nagging.
It's not my key, not my
roto.
roto.
Oh, okay, fine. Okay, fine. So you only did the CG. Sorry. Apologies. Yeah.
I mean, I fixed some keyframes on the roto, which were really bad, but at some point there was just no time, so
okay, I see.
Focused on CG.
I see. Well, if it's apologies because I'm doing the stream, looking at the chat, doing a lot of things. Maybe I probably didn't notice that you said that it was only the CG, but now I can kind of see it because it's written on the bottom there. Okay, cool. So I mean, I think you did a good job. It's very well integrated. I don't really have any issues with it whatsoever. If anything, I would say that the lights on the back there probably could have pinged a bit more, and the bokeh could have been a bit more pronounced on those lights because they do look a bit soft. And usually when you have like pings of light like that, they would have bokeh'd and became quite sharp there. That's the only really note that I would give you. It's hard to tell about the grain integration and everything because it's so it's compressed from the H264, so it's not really easy to judge, but it looks to me like you did a good job with the grain integration, and I think you did a good job with the black point and the white point. That looks quite nice. So I would definitely think that it's well handled. It's a shame that the track bounces a bit, so that kind of like destroys a bit the illusion of your great CG work. So obviously you didn't do the track, but there's like a little bump.
This one I did.
You did? Okay. So the track bounces a bit. You can clearly see it down on the back here. If you go frame by frame, there's like and also like it. You kind of notice by looking at the distance between this light and the distance of the edge that there's like a bit of a bump. So for example, in here the light is really close to the edge, and then it kind of goes a bit further away and then goes back again. Now I'm not entirely sure if this is a roto issue or if it's the track issue, because it's hard to tell on the other parts of the shot. It looks like a track issue, but it could also be an edge and roto issue as well. Could also be that. So it's hard to tell without like looking through the shot frame by frame and really checking it out, But I think you did a great job, so congratulations.
Thanks.
Now, tell me a little bit about. Oh, by the way, this CG that you got, like who done it? Who did it?
I don't know the guy, but it was done in 3ds Max, rendered with V-Ray.
Oh, really? 3ds Max? Okay, cool. That's been a while since I've heard that. Okay, that's cool.
But there was also a problem, because of the broken cameras. Like the first track was even worse. So I retracked as quick as I could, and then the CG camera didn't align with the shot, and then they rendered 3 days, and I got it, and it didn't align, so render again. Then we like swapped cameras 3 times until it finally worked, and every time rendering again, and yeah,
of course.
So
you see what I was saying about the lights. You see before you put the depth of field in, you see the nice bokeh artifacty thing that you have here on this reflection of this lamp and also on these lights. And I understand that you haven't put the depth of field yet, but this is looking much more realistic. This is how a light would be. Lights usually ping quite a lot with depth of field. And so when you put back depth of field, it's going very glowy and very blurry. It's kind of like getting very round. It's missing this really nice sharpness that you had there. So I would definitely go into the, if you had the time, I would go into the, I'm assuming use the bokeh node for this to do
no, it's really old. Was ZD Focus.
ZD Focus, okay. So if you use the ZD Focus, then it's a bit more tricky to do the bloom effect, so that you have the bloom and the highlights to get more bokeh out of it. So because the bokeh node has all those things in, so you can kind of tweak them on the settings. The ZD Focus node sucks; it doesn't really have any of that, but you can trick it, you can fake it by, if you do a bit of a soft mask, and you increase the highlights and the exposure of just the highlights. So basically, what I did in the past is I pull a really quick key, or if I have the light pass, I just use the light pass for that of the AOVs. And then I increase the exposure to like 2 times instead. And so I would keep the gamma so that the blacks stay where they are, but the brights go really high on just these reflections. These would be reflections. And so that way, once it gets piped through the ZD Focus, the bokeh would ping stronger, because the bokeh is expecting highlights for it to ping a bokeh. And so if the values are below 1, it will not ping. It won't have any bokeh whatsoever. But if the values go beyond 1 and they reach 2 or 3, like they normally do on a camera, then you would get a bokeh, because everything that goes really highlighted then becomes bokeh'd on the ZD Focus node. That would be my solution for that, would be to fake, either pick up the AOV of these reflections, of just the pings of light that you have. So you need to find on your AOVs from 3D Studio Max, where are these reflections, these harsh lights coming from? They perhaps come from the speculars, or maybe they come from, the GI. They might be from different places, depending on how this was done in CG. And then just use that as like a layer to increase, almost like a mask, to increase the exposure on just those pings. And then when you put in the ZD Focus, the pings will ping. They will do more bouquets, So
I think I just messed it up. I soft clipped the lights because they had values of like 90.
Yeah.
And so I soft clipped it, but too low. And I think the mistake I made was putting the glow behind the defocus. That's also
that's not going to work. And if you have pings of 90, then what you need to do is, instead of like soft clipping, because that will give you a toe on the clipping, you should just clip. Because if you shoot with a camera, even if it's an ARRI camera, even if it's a really expensive ARRI 65, there will be things that will be clipped. The cameras cannot sustain dynamic range that well. Like usually cameras have maybe 15 stops, or maybe 16 stops, maybe 17. I mean, usually it's 15 to 16 stops, the cameras they have. And so there's a moment where it clips anyway. And so there's no problem of clipping things, And in fact, what I would have done if I was doing this shot, I would have looked at the raw plate, which was here. And I would have sampled and see the brightest thing here. So I would have lowered all the way the exposure on the viewer, find what's the brightest thing, and then turn on the zebras on the viewer, find the hottest spot, and then the hottest spot of the shot, let's say that it's a 6 or a 7 or whatever, it doesn't really matter. Then I would bring the entire CG to lower in terms of clamping to have that 7 of high. So basically you would have leave the dynamic range of the shot matching the CG, like the plate that you had, and then whatever was clamped on the camera, the real plate of the camera, you need to make sure that's also clamped on the CG, so that you match the CG clamping to the clamping of your sensor of the camera. So matching the sensors is really the trick to get a good bokeh, and also a good black point and white point. I would highly recommend you to watch a YouTube video, which is free. It's on the either it's on the Foundry's website, the YouTube channel, or it's on the FMX. I think it's on the Foundry. The last talk that Victor Perez did at FMX, which I was there, I was on the audience, it was all about this. So you should watch that video. He explains it really well, much more in detail than whatever I'm going to do here. So you probably, because I don't have the time to explain it that well. So have a look at that, because then you can get like a better dynamic range between the blacks, the whites, and also the bokeh. Yeah, on the shot.
I think I was on the talk I think I was sitting 3 rows behind you.
Okay.
Do you remember the crazy people with the sign?
Yeah. Oh, is that you?
That was
okay.
me.
Oh, okay. Oh, thanks, man. You mean the sign on my talk as well?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you so much for that. Yeah, I have a lovely image on Instagram for that. Like, thank you so much for that.
That was the goal.
Yeah, I did post it on my Instagram. I don't know if we see you on the. Let's have a look.
we do.
We do. Okay, cool. I'm glad to hear that. It's been a while now, but it would have been on my, not on that one. It would have been. Sorry that I'm doing a little break from your showreel. Just gonna see yourself here on the photo. Let's just.
I'm seeing myself on stream. That's weird enough.
Well, people are already watching you anyway. Come on! Now it's taking forever to open up. Come on, let's go. Why don't you just do it? Well, we'll be back at FMX next year again, so I'm gonna be there again. So yeah, if I scroll down, yeah, there you go. That's the photo. Oh yeah, there's you. Yeah,
Terrible.
Look at that. You're here.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Well, first of all, thank you so much for the lovely poster. That was lovely of all of you. But yeah, that's cool. So this is the school that you were talking about, isn't it? That's the school, right?
Yeah.
Ah, cool, excellent.
And the guy next to me is the guy who made most CG for my showreel.
Okay, cool. Well, congratulations to him as well. What's his name?
Crystal.
Hey, thank you so much. Okay, cool. Let's go back to the showreel. Intermission is over. Okay, so you've heard enough about this shot. Let's just move on to the next shot. And okay, so this shot, tell me a little bit about this. So text removal and reveal and CG integration. So what's going on here?
So yeah, the pen is CG. The whole site was written with actual text, and I had to paint that out. So I got match move geometry for the paper from match moving, and then just UV projected, painted, and then did frame by frame rotopaint mask to make the words reveal again. Yeah, and I made the pen, like I composited the pen. The shadow I didn't do. I left the show before the shadow was done, but yeah, I think I could have done that too.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. I mean, is the pen being held by like is there an actual CG character holding it, or is it supposed to be flying? It's supposed to fly, right? Yeah. So I wasn't sure if there was maybe a character somewhere because I don't know the shot before and the shot after. So, yeah, this looks great. CG integration looks spot on. Black points, white points look great. I mean, the painting of the text and everything, like you say, like that looks cool as well. Yeah, great work. There's no breakdown, unfortunately, but
No.
but yeah,
I can't get the footage, unfortunately. I asked already, but
that's fine. You've written quite clear text there. People will understand it. And of course, on the interview, you can explain that. That's fine. Cool. Very well done. So, okay, cool. Well, tell me a little bit about this one. So the Star Trek kind of thing that you've made here. So what's going on here? You're trying to do the warp speed thing. So what's going on here? So you did the whole compositing. Was it your friend that did the CG as well?
Yeah. So it's his bachelor project.
Ah, cool.
It was 6 shots, and I did all the compositing. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But we did it in a way that he has less work in CG because he specialized in Houdini, so he was more focusing on getting his work done and giving as much work to me as possible to get done in the time with 6 shots. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I mean, I really don't have much to say about that shot. Looks good. I like the warp shot. Really like the way that you guys made the warp thing, because it's very peculiar, this art direction of having the streaks, the lightning streaks. Haven't seen that before. It usually doesn't look like that. That's really nice. I like that a lot. It's a nice touch. And the warping looks good as well. I mean, I'm assuming you warped it in Nuke or something.
There's no warping. This is just
the depth of field. The lens, the focal length. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you did it in camera. That's good.
Yeah, it's from he did it.
Okay, cool.
Rendered already.
I mean, the only thing, I think it looks cool. The only thing, there's just 2 things that I would say. And I know we're used to having, they're more creative things than anything else. So it's not going to be like something that I would comment that you should change. I don't take it that way. I think it's from a creative point of view. I feel like the ship itself looks a bit small. in terms of scale. And this could be because it's hard to judge scale with nothing else next to it. You know, there's no planet there. There's no other ship. There's nothing. We also don't have establishing shots before, so it's hard for me to like judge the scale of this thing by just looking at directly like this. Then the other thing that is kind of like killing the scale for me is this kind of, and again, like I said, this is not notes for you because this is like the art direction of this shot. I feel like from an art direction point of view, I don't really buy these like really huge blue things that are here on the sides of the ships. And I know sometimes on Star Trek they have that, but that really ruins the sense of scale because the ship is humongous, and so if you look at the bridge would be like someone would be as tiny as this red dot here, and then you have this gigantic surface of blue which has a lot of textures. It kind of looks small, so it makes the ship look smaller. But that's again, like I said, a creative note. I think that would be note number one I would give if I was supervising this or if I was involved on this production. The other note as well, and that has more to do with the direction of the film, you know, depending on the director, what he wants from the film. You know, if it's a J.J. Abrams, then you're going to get a lot of flares, then you're going to get a lot of dirt on the lens, you're going to get a lot of that. Then if it's Christopher Nolan, it's like really clean and soft and nothing is dirty. Personally, from my point of view, the dirt on the lens looks weird because why would we have dirt on the space? There's no dirt on space. It's just vacuum. So, and if you notice like closely on Christopher Nolan's films, there's no real dirt on lenses. There's some flaring, of course, but it's a lot more cleaner. I prefer it that way. I think it makes it more realistic. And so again, it's an artistic thing. And then one final note that I would give you from a creative point of view, if I was giving you creative notes, would be that I think that the sky looks like there is like, I don't know if this is because of the nebulas that you have on the sky, because it does look like there's nebulas between the stars, but it's looking like glow instead of nebula. It's looked like you have a glow on the sky layer. And it wouldn't, you know, I don't think it would glow. I think it should just be harsh pings of light, because that's what the sky looks like if you're in space. There's really no glowing happening like that. And then one other thing that, you know, if you look at the chat, Francisco was actually saying here, which he has a point, Yoshi has a point here. And again, Yoshi, thank you so much for being here on the chat. You always give us so much feedback as well on the chat every week here. Thank you so much for doing that. You didn't have to, so thank you. But yeah, Yoshi has a point. That much blue would also make the ship blue, and it would actually bounce blue into the ship. So that, of course, it's not a creative note anymore. Now that's something that is actually kind of missing. But overall, I think the shot looks nice, but I think from a static point of view, it's not really looking as good as the shot we had before, you know, the two shots we had before. That would be my thing to you, you know.
Yeah, I hope most of this on me, like the lens flares and lens stuff, I did that. That was my choice.
Yeah.
I just liked it. And yeah, so I couldn't find any good lens textures, so I just took a bunch and made one big of them. And I think I went overboard there. But no, I really like flares. I love it.
It's like I said, it depends on the direction of the project. You know, if you're working for a very like J.J. Abrams kind of like Star Trek vision, it would have been like this, you know. But if you're doing it as the original Star Treks, then it wouldn't be like that. So it's, like I said, it's a creative note, but the blue light does look weird that it's not reflecting, and the glow on the sky does look a bit weird. But let's just move on, because we still have quite a lot of showreel.
One question, really quick, about the engines. Like, I put this texture on there with ST maps. So in order to sell the scale, should I make the texture smaller or bigger? Or
I think at this scale you wouldn't have a texture. You wouldn't see anything. You would just see the light itself. Because what is it really like in a way? But that's, again, this is an artistic decision. I mean, I have no idea what this ship would be anyway. It's in the future. Maybe that's how it looks. You know, it's always a bit. That's why I was saying this is a creative choice. You know, I don't think it's a wrong choice. It's something that you've chosen to do, and I think it looks great. I don't really think you should change it. I think the glow on the sky you probably should, because it looks a bit weird. Makes it forgive my French, a bit cheap. It makes it look a bit cheap with the glow. Okay, cool. So then we move on, and then we go to the rest looks great. I really like this thing, like the warp thing looks fantastic. I think you guys did a great job.
Should I share the link of the full film somewhere?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, please do. Please be my guest. Of course, we would love to all see it as well. Yeah. Okay, so just put it on the chat, and then we can click on it. Okay, then we have the sun here. So now this shot here looks good, but one thing I would say to you in terms of exposure, I don't really believe that you would have seen, like, you need to choose here. You need to make a choice. Either you're going to have the sun really, really glowing and really bright, or you're going to have the ship bright. So either the sun is like this and then the ship is black because it's an outline, or the ship is bright and then the sun is overexposed. So you need to like make a choice, because this is not going to work this way, because either the sun needs to be brighter and the ship needs to look like that, or the ship needs to be darker so it's an outline and then the sun could be like this. A good reference for these kind of shots would be if you look at Danny Boyle's Sunshine. It's a film from the 2006 or 7 or something. Has a lot of shots of the sun. Good references there. It has a lot of really incredible shots from the sun. Can't remember who did it at the time. I believe it was either Cinesite or Double Negative. I can't remember. But some really good CG as well. So I would say that to you, that I think you need to make a choice in terms of exposure, because the shot looks great. I like the sun, like the ship, everything is great. It's just that the exposure levels are not really good. And there's another reference shot that you could look into. Like, there's this shot from Christopher Nolan, Interstellar, where the ship is like getting into the Gargantua, going into the black hole, and you see the black hole behind it, and you can see the ship is just an outline. It's like very dark, and then the brightness is behind it. So I would say this, yes, Yoshi, that's right. We would have, instead of 15 f-stops, we would have 25 f-stops. Yes, yeah, that's right. Eternals also has some nice shots of the sun as well. That's a good reference as well.
So I should just darken down the ship.
I think so. I think I would definitely personally darken the ship more, and also make the sun brighter. I think the sun would be brighter.
Absolutely, because I'm prouder of the sun than the ship. I want people to see the sun.
But it does look good. Okay, so then we have here the force shield and the ship. This shot looks fantastic. Very well made. This is really good. I mean, the light coming in, the light, like the shields and the hitting the rocks, and especially this ray of light is really an inspired moment in terms of giving it like a really nice look, So this is a fantastic shot that you guys have done here.
That makes me so happy, because this is the one I was most unsure about, and it was a pain to make. That was the worst shots from all.
No, but
I
the shot,
so much problems with it.
No, the shot looks great. I mean, I still, from my point of view, my personal point of view, the blue thing looks weird from a creative point of view, but it doesn't look as weird here. I think in here it looks nicer, and I think it has to do with the fact that it's a bit darker, not as bright as the other shot as well. And also the shot has so much going on here with the rocks hitting and everything. I think you did a great job. If anything, if you want to make it even better, if you want to make shot even better, I would definitely apply more little small debris rocks when the rocks get hit. So, for example, give an example. This rock here, when you hit it, it would have been nice to see little small other rocks breaking up from it, so that it would have been hit and it would have disintegrated a little bit, so that you would have like an effect of little small debris coming out of all these rocks that actually hit the ship. That would have given it scale, because then you would have had the big rocks, and then the smaller little debris rocks, almost dusty rocks, would make the ship look even bigger, because it would give it scale to it. and definitely breaking them up. But you can easily do this by just getting some stock footage of debris falling down. Like I've seen that on Action VFX, I've seen that on other stock websites, and you can kind of like basically get that element of dust flying through or debris flying through, and then comp it in either in 2D or in 3D if you want to, and just comp it to just disperse. And then it could disperse into you can make a ramp, and then the ramp kind of makes it disappear. So almost like the dust came out and then it kind of vanished into the space, you know. So that would have helped, I think. And also apart from that, I would also add, to make it even better, I would have made another layer of CG, which would have been really, really, really tiny little small rocks and particles, really tiny ones, that you would have picked up in a few places, that you would have picked up a little bit of micro space dust everywhere.
I can try making that with new particles, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. But try to make it so that you pick up the lighting that you have, and then you multiply it by the particles, so that you only light up certain particles, so that only the really bright ones would show up, you know. And so and try to tone it down as much as you can. You just want to just have a hint of it. Don't cover it with it, just a really subtle hint of it, you know. So, and that would make, those two things would make the shot even better. But it's a great, very well done shot. I like it a lot.
Also, I have one question about
if you put those two things in, this would look like a film shot, you know.
I will.
Yeah. A question?
One question. So I also soft clipped the highlights on the stones here.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's even like allowed in production to clip values.
So it depends on what you're doing, and it depends on the notes. This is a conversation you have to have on your supervisor. So the clipping and the amount of values of highlights that exist on the shot highly depend on how the shot was filmed. And so depending on the shots you have before and the shots you have after, and also the dynamic range of the entire film, you would then will learn how much the highlight would be. So let's give an example. So imagine they're shooting this with an ARRI 65. And so they shot it with an ARRI 65, and they have this shot inside the bridge. And there's a bunch of actors there. The bridge is a real set. And there's like monitors on the bridge. And there's lights on the bridge. And like the typical Star Trek bridge. You know, the bunch of people there. Captain Kirk is there. A bunch of people are there. And they're just like doing their acting normally. And so this would have been shot with an ARRI 65. And so there's a dynamic range on that camera, and so most likely some of the highlight screens would be burned out, some of the lamps on the panels would be burned out. And so now imagine that they are going to use the same exact camera to shoot outside. So if we could, you know, if they could, they would have picked up the ARRI 65 and they would have gone outside with another ship and fly next to this one to film this shot, right? If they wanted to film this for real. Let's imagine that we're living in the year 3000 and we have a spaceship that films, like an helicopter that films. And so there's a spaceship next to this spaceship and they're filming it with the real camera and the real lens. So you have to kind of think like a camera, like with camera settings. You have to think, okay, the camera sensor would probably clip this and it probably would clip that, and by studying other shots of the film, you would have probably come into the conclusion of what's the maximum brightness that you ever have on any shot on the film. And also you would come to the conclusion of the maximum black level that you would get on any shot. And that's how you make it fit together, because then the shot outside would look like it was actually filmed with the same camera, because the dynamic range would be the same. And this is why, for example, you know, if you look at, again, I'm going to reference Interstellar again. If you look at Interstellar shots, that's why they look so good, because Christopher Nolan shot some shots for real with miniatures. So some of them are miniatures, which means they have the black point and the white point and the bright level and the exposure level of a real camera shooting a miniature and something real. And then some shots are full CG. Obviously, they had the miniatures, and they could use the miniatures to check exposure, black levels, and white levels to then mimic that on the CG shots, you know. Mm-hmm. So that would be my approach. Think like a real camera and try to think like if you were an astronaut outside with the camera trying to shoot this, you know. What would be your exposure? What are you exposing to? What is the thing that you're trying to expose to? What other thing would go overexposed? What other thing would go black, depending on what you're trying to shoot, you know? Yeah. Yeah, for example, you have Sarvesh here on the chat here. Thank you so much for being here. He's actually giving some notes from what the DNEG does, you see. So you have some nice notes there from you. I'm going to read if someone is not listening to the chat. As Sarvesh says, as Hugo said, if you have clipping in the scan, you'll have to match the CG pinging highlights to that. And if we have a full CG shot, we do clamp it to a 50 max here at DNEG. So you see, not only you're clipping already a maximum value, absolute maximum value, but you then are taking cues from the other shots of the production, you know. And I know it's hard for you because you don't have other shots from the production, because you just have CG shots, but you need to think like a production. Maybe use other shots that you filmed with the camera as a base, you know, for you to try to get to this, you know. So but yeah, and Nub also mentions that on the chat, that miniatures are a great reference, and that is why people still shoot miniatures. For example, I'll give you a great example for this. Blade Runner 2048, I think that's the number. So the new Blade Runner, the sequel. On that show, they have a lot of shots that were actually shot on a miniature, with miniatures. And then, you know, because of course miniatures never look as good as they should, and the scale is always a bit off, and it's never really, really, really perfect, they ended up replacing all the shots with real CG shots. There's only one shot left on the entire film, which is still the original miniature, but even that shot has been augmented by CG. You know, even that shot that is still left, which is like a big traveling camera move through the city until the police station. So what the cool thing about that is, because they have the miniature shots, they can really match black levels, white levels, and exposures to the CG, because they have an excellent reference of how it would have been if it was real, you know. So yeah, just so you know. So yeah, thank you so much for all the notes on the chat, my friends. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so let's go on and move on to the next one, because we still are 2 minutes off, so your show reel is incredibly long. Okay, so next up we have blood added shirt replacement. So again, pretty straightforward. You have some blood. I'm assuming this is elements, or is it something you shot in purpose for this?
On the left side, that's real onset blood and smoke, and on the right side there was no exit wound, so I had to add that. On the right side, okay. Stock, yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, so the one on the back is the real one. Okay.
Yeah.
And so you had stock. You didn't have plates from the set. They didn't have anything.
No, unfortunately not.
Okay. If anything, I would say that the only thing that you can kind of notice is that look closely on the left blood. The left blood drops, right? So it's there, and then it drops, and it continues to exist all the way to the floor. The blood on the front dissolves, it fades. So you need to be careful with that, because you're fading, and I know why you're doing it, because you probably don't have more element.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it blends with the little pieces flying to the right, so that it actually reaches the shirt, because otherwise it wouldn't.
Yeah, exactly. So
you need to cheat.
Yeah, but you need to be careful with that, because maybe you need to get another element. You know, not, of course, normally on a real production, we'd have shot this element for real. You know, you would have shot a bunch of elements for you to use, and you would have made sure that you had space enough to the front so that you would have the blood all the way to the other side. You know, so this would have been done with second unit or with the VFX supervisor shooting something. I've done these kind of things on set all the time. So, but yeah, definitely it's very noticeable that it fades because it doesn't go anywhere. You know, it's like, I know that you've splattered it on the floor, but like I don't see it going to the floor. I don't see it, and I know it's just a few frames, but that is the only thing. But I don't think you can do anything about it. That's the thing. Without you having to shoot an actual plate, you can't really fix this. There's really no other way. The only other way would be for you to maybe merge it with other blood elements and try to extend it, or try to find a better blood element for this shot, you know. but it's a really tiny thing, and I think the rest, and I'm assuming the squirt on the other dude, that's all real on set, right?
Not really.
No. Okay.
So they missed that. It's 2 different shooting days. So the next shot is shot on the next day, and there they made it all for practical. And I tried to mimic with smart vectors like all the blood on him, but that didn't work because the footage is not really that good in quality. So I took the shirt from another shot and warped it on top of him.
I see.
To replace it.
I see what you mean. Okay, I see. Well done. I mean, I didn't notice. I thought it was real, so that was really well done. Yeah, my whole problem here is the blood. Now, someone like, as you see suggested on the chat, Nubbed suggests that you should do a CG blood for sure. That at this stage, if you can't get an element, just do it in CG, and it's not a complicated thing to do it in CG anyway. So it would be like a simple simulation of blood splattering, and you have the perfect reference behind it, so which was very lucky to have there, because it's a great reference for the light interaction and the light direction and everything. So yeah, let's move on, because this shot is...
Unfortunately, I'm not really a CG artist. I can do some stuff, but really bad. And
no,
yeah,
I know. I'm not saying that you should do it. I mean, like, next time you're in a situation like this, just get together with a CG artist. If you're in a production, just do that, you know. But yeah, but that's good. The rest is all good. So shot is looking good. The shirt is also looking good with the blur. Now, reflection removal, new reflection added. So you've removed the lights and then you put a clock. Now, this is, I mean, I think you did a great job. Like, I don't really see any issues there. I think you did a good job. It's very subtle, which is what it's supposed to be. It's a graphic thing. I think it's, you know, yeah, I don't really say, I have nothing to say really. I think you did a good job. Especially the blinking is looking really cool and everything. Okay, cool. So now car remove. So you've removed the car there on the back. I think you did a good job. You had some help with the motion blur as well, obviously, to help you with this. It's very overexposed, so it's...
The rotor is really bad, so
yeah,
I kind of did one mask with a lot of feather.
Yeah, but you don't really notice it at all. I don't think it's a big deal, you know. So I think you did a good job. If anything, I think it should even be more blurry, because it's so fast that...
Oh, that's right.
Should be even more blurry on this side, you know. So you can definitely go more blurry. Cool. Next one, add muzzle flash. So not really much of a muzzle flash though. It's like a really
it has a silencer, but
really tiny one. So this is the first time I see a... is the gun crooked or something? What's going on here?
it has a silencer on it.
No, I know, but it doesn't look like it's lined up. It looks like it's... maybe it's the angle. It looks like it's not...
I know. I think it's a cheap prop, I guess.
Yeah. This is the kind of stuff that you would have to fix if you were on a film. You would have had to, like, make it correct. Because... man, we do a lot of prop fixing. A lot of prop fixing. So yeah, so I would say that's the only thing I would say that you should do. You should fix that for sure, because it's really distracting that it's wrong. The muzzle flash and the smoke and the bullet looks great. I mean, I don't really have anything to say. There's really no light interactions ever going to happen there because it's so tiny. So, and then everything else looks great. It's just really, for me, I think it's really... you should take the time to straighten the barrel. I think that would work best. And also it would show initiative because when we're working on these films, like you always want compositors that do things beyond the Call of Duty, you know, so that you do and fix other things. But yeah, that's nice. That's a nice shot. Okay, keying, asset creation, and compositing. So when you say asset creation, what did you do? Was it the phone boot or what's?
Yeah, like I modeled everything and textured, and yeah, that was my first time playing with deep because I thought, oh, it's only one frame, so I can render it deep. Otherwise, my PC, bye.
So you said you were not a CG artist, but here you are with doing CG. You see?
I mean, I can do CG, but I wouldn't say I'm really good at it, and I still texture in Photoshop because
hey, it's fine.
learned Substance Pages.
It's not a problem. Don't worry. Half of the CG artists I meet, they're not very good either. No, I'm joking. I'm making a joke. Don't get upset anymore. Okay, cool. So, okay, well, definitely you didn't need deep for this for sure. But I guess it's a good experience for you to kind of try it. But yeah, so I can see the raw plate there. That's the raw plate. Okay, cool. So the person is there with an enormous amount of stuff on set. And then you did the key, you did... Yeah, and then it's in black and white, so...
Yeah, that's why I didn't really care about the colors or some are off.
Yeah,
because
exactly. But even being in black and white, I do think that your black points are a bit off. I feel like the character, the actor... Either the actor needs to be blacker, like needs to be darker, his blacks, or you need to brighten up the phone booth in the exterior. There's something wrong with the black levels on him or on the outside. I think it would be nicer if you do it him, because the outside looks great. So I think you shouldn't touch the outside. You should touch the actor, you know. So yeah. Okay, so spotlight added. So you have a spotlight behind there. So you had to do the rotoscoping and then... Okay, cool. So that's like... What's going on here? Is that a projection that you have there or something? What's going on here?
Yeah,
Is that
3D
CG?
tracked and built some proxy geometry and then just a nuke projected on top of that.
Okay.
So there was supposed to be a dragon flying in front of a window and casting shadow on her. But the plate is only MP4. So... yeah, I was limited with the quality of light I can get there.
But can you explain to me what's going on here? Why do we have a reflection on top of the surface, which is coming from this layer here? Why are you having this? Like, what is that? Because that looks very funky. It looks very weird. Because you see, she's not made of glass. She's not reflective. So
No,
why...
that's a light. Like, that's supposed to be a light beam.
I know, but lights don't interact like this. Like, if you would had a light... Because, you know, what the problem here is that you're dealing with her like she was one single surface of texture, and she has hair which would break up the light, and so basically on the hair you would have different properties on the light, and then the face would have different properties, and then the like all the elements of her face would react differently to this light. And you need to like make sure you darken the part of the hair and then like keep just the face. You need to like split it up, otherwise it looks like there's like a glass in front of her, you know. It just looks very strange. It doesn't look realistic at all, especially in here. When you look at the whole thing on the hair here, it should have all been broken up here. It should have all break up by this hair. So I would definitely not really truly believe that it would have rotated like that or deformed like that. It should have been more integrated into the body of her face. And I understand that you don't have a full geometry of her face. You just have like something fake here going on. But you know what I mean? Like, it needs to break up a bit more. So maybe try to break it up with some noise or something to try to break that up, you know. Okay, cool. Next up, keying. So person being keyed with the fluorescent green screen, as I can see. It's not really a green screen, it's like a fluorescent green.
Painted wall.
You did a good job with the hair, though. It's because it's really bright, like super bright, the hair on the wall there. So you did a good job trying to separate that. So yeah, well done there. Would have been nice if, I think this is well done. Good work with the hair and the detail. Would have been nice if you would have comped it with something instead of just having...
Yeah, this is the shot I'm still working on.
Okay, cool. Never mind.
Like, she's supposed to be standing on a ship in a storm on a railing. The camera's flying through a wall in the ship. And,
Nub here has a really good tip for your reflection on the girl. You can use the You can use a luma mat to displace the shadow. That usually works, and that's a really good point, because then you could use getting a luma mat of her face and then displacing using a displacement node, or you can use the displacement node in Nuke is a bit shit. So I would advise you to go to Nukipedia, get a better one, and then try to displace that reflection so that it would break up with the hair and break up the whole thing. You know. Yeah. Okay, keying is all done. Oh my god, we still have a minute to go. Look at that. So asset creation, tracking, compositing with the high here. It's a bit glowy, but I think that's the point, right? That's the idea, that it's supposed
to... like, it's projecting something in the air in front of the eye, very close.
Yeah.
But this was done in After Effects 3 years ago, so I don't have the files anymore or access, so I can change.
Okay. Well, I mean, you have plenty of shots. You can just remove it then. You have plenty of shots on your showreel. We'll go through at the end what I think you could remove. In my opinion, of course, you can do whatever you want, of course. Okay, so compositing trails. I mean, very straightforward. CG compositing, explosion of airplanes exploding. So here's the thing that I would say. This is cool and all, but I would tell you that the explosion should be more broken up. There should be, and I know that this is probably not your problem because it's not you that did the CG, but there is no way the planes would just do 2 balls of fire. I don't know if you've ever seen aircrafts fly, like the disasters, in videos and on when they fall on the floor, when they fall. There's even footage actually of airplanes hitting each other. There's also footage of that. They break up in a million pieces. And they break up in a bunch of shrapnel, a bunch of pieces, a bunch of flying things. It would never be as clean as this, because you know what this looks like? This looks like there was an explosive on board. It looks like something exploded on board exactly when they cross over. So, which is really weird. And also the other thing as well, you see, because you hit on the, and also the other thing as well, you hit the center. See, this plane is hitting the middle of the other plane. So by the laws of physics, the other plane would have been completely split on half, and the other one would go through it. So because there's a lot more, you have the nose hitting the middle of the fuselage, which is a weak point. So that means one plane would split in half the other plane. And of course they would both disintegrate, but one of them would have a larger disintegration going forward. So basically the plane on the left would cross more, it would actually go further in space and then disintegrate. And the plane on the right side, coming from the right side, would split in half and disintegrate on the spot. It wouldn't fly as much as the other one. So you need to bounce that up. And I know this is not your problem because you just did the compositing, but
yeah, also it was client choice. It's a fun movie, so it's supposed to be symmetrical. They wanted.
Oh, okay.
It's supposed to be funny.
You should have stopped me then. You should have stopped me. You could have stopped me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I only put it in there because I did the trails in comp, and I'm proud of them. So
here's the thing that I'm gonna. Here's the thing I'm gonna say. I think this is gonna confuse a lot of people watching your showreel because no one will ever know what you just told me. People are just going to look at this and think that it's like a really weak kind of motion graphic, After Effects type of kind of thing that someone did, So I think you should remove it from your showreel because unless you can be on an interview explaining yourself, this is going to be very hard for anyone watching. You need to understand that people watching a showreel, they don't know you. They don't know anything about you. And so they're watching it for the first time. So first impressions are the best. And you just notice what my first impressions are. I had my first impressions right away. I thought everything is wrong on the shot. So it's like, so your other supervisors and recruitment people are going to say the same exact thing. So I would remove it for sure. It's not that good anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Even if you remove it, even if it was a lot of shrapnel and well made, it's not that of an interesting shot anyway. So it's too far away. It's not that interesting. Okay, then you have asset creation and compositing. So this you have a drone here. It's looking cool. I think you did a really good job with the drone and the reflections and the flare there going on. Very well made. I don't really have anything to say. I mean, if you want to make the shot look better, even if you want to make it even cooler, I would definitely put little tiny particles flying through the air with streaks of blur, almost looking like it's a rainy day. You see some streaks, because that would give you depth into the shot. It would give you a sense of perspective, a sense of depth. If you had some particles flying through the air as you fly through them, it would also give you a sense of speed as well.
I have that, but I think the opacity is just too low.
It's too low. Then
in the breakdown, you can see there's a full layer of speed lines and all that stuff.
Yeah, you need to put more. Then it's too little. It's just way too little.
Okay. I made a new breakdown, so it's not in there.
It's not there yet.
Okay, then I will increase.
I think you should, yeah. It's going to give a more momentum and more speed into the shot. Now, this shot here, compositing, so you didn't say acid, so this someone else did it. Now, this shot here, I would also remove from your show reel. Don't get me wrong, but I think the shot just doesn't look very good in terms of the depth of field looks a bit off, and because it's not very realistic. There's a lot of like the CG itself doesn't look very good either. Like it's a lot of repetition on the floor, a lot of repetition on the bushes, and it just doesn't look very interesting. And also there's the smoke flying through the floor when it lands. I don't think it's strong enough. It should be a lot stronger. And because
behind the hill, so most of the fog is not even visible.
That's fine, but then all the bushes should be moving, because especially the ones on the back.
But behind the
yeah, it's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough.
Okay,
I just think that this shot, if you want to keep it on show, really need to do a lot of work on it. I think you need to move the hill. You need to move the bushes on the back. You need to increase the amount of smoke that it gets scattered when it lands. And you definitely need to work on the depth of field, because the depth of field looks very fake. The reason for that is because if this would have been shot by a real director of photography, there is no way you would have had these hills so blurred. You would have probably had, because it looks like a miniature right now, because it's a wide shot, I would assume that the depth of field would still be, you would still have these hills sharp. And maybe a little bit of depth of field on this hill on the back there, and maybe a little bit on the sky, but I would have made it a lot sharper, because it just looks like a miniature. It looks like you've shot it with, like, I don't know, like you went crazy and shot it with a 1.2 f-stop lens, and it just looks strange. It's really not selling the shot. It's making it look tiny and small. And the scale, there's two ways of breaking scale. One is the depth of field, and the other one is scale with something else next to it. So obviously if you had a person here, it would have helped, but or a car or a vehicle or something, that would have helped to sell the sense of scale. You have a tree here, but the tree is quite far away, so it's not easy to spot right away. So it doesn't really, from a composition point of view, it really doesn't really work very well, you know. So yeah. Okay, cool. So moving on. Yeah. There's some wonky dissolves happening at the end as well here when the smoke flies through. I don't know what's going on here. Like, do you have a layer of smoke?
More comp layers and smoke that I blended in to kind of fake it going near
camera, but it doesn't look. It doesn't look like it's actually blended with the geometry.
It's not.
Yeah, so it looks very 2D. You either have to cut it with the geometry, or you should just skip it and not do that, because everything was better before, you know. Yeah, so I'm sorry about that. Okay, let's move on. So yeah, you have a lovely breakdown. That's fine. So let's go through. Yeah, your smoke is also low quality. You can kind of get it right away. You see, you can kind of see the wispiness is not wisped in enough. It doesn't have enough detail. That's not your problem, of course, but the CG should have like pump up the detail on the smoke. And that's also what contributing to it to look blurry instead of looking like smoke and sorry, not smoke, like dust, real dust, you know. So cool. This is actually a really lovely shot you did here. The only thing that I would say, when I saw this shot the first time, I thought it was great. You know, you used a really great way. It looks similar to that King Kong shot.
That was the reference.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing I would tell you is that it's a shame. Tell you this, it's a shame that the two helicopters look so similar. The two of them, it kind of like pulls me out to have this helicopter next to this one, that they look so similar that they look like they're just like cloned assets. And because it would have been nice if they had some differences, you know, maybe different models, or maybe something different. Maybe there would have been a gun turret sticking out on this one, or the door was open, or something would look different. Because right now it looks like you just repeated the asset, and from a creative point of view, it would have been nice if it would have looked a bit different. The shot looks lovely, and you did a really good job. there's a few little wonky things going on the motion blur here on the propellers, and it's hard to tell because it might be your motion blur going berserk. Are you doing the motion blur in Nuke and vector blur, or is it actually 3D motion blur?
This is 3D rendered motion blur.
Okay.
The thing is, the blade is tilted, yeah, on a helicopter.
Yeah,
that's why it looks so wide. So
exactly.
It's actually realistic.
Yeah, but it's looking weird for a film. Like, I think the problem with this is that those are the kind of situations where a lot of times on films they fake things to make it look nicer, and this is highly distractive. It makes it look like kind of makes it look like a mistake, you know. But yeah, it's fine. I mean, if I was doing this, I would definitely fix the propellers so that it would look straight. I know it's fake, but it doesn't matter. The people watching, they don't know that. And then the 2 helicopters, I would definitely just get another asset for another helicopter and put another one there. So a different model. I would just use something different. Maybe get an Apache helicopter or get a different type of model of the same one that you have there. Just a small variation would probably work fine, you know.
Yeah, maybe I track some image of a gun turret just on top, because going back to CG, don't have the time.
But that would work fine if you put a turret there coming out. You know, that would work. You know, I think that would work fine. More people on the chat are saying the same thing. You see, Michael says, I think he needs more references for all these elements. Although I appreciate the styles, the execution gets hurt because the reference for the CG isn't there. Michael then continues saying that they look copy-pasted, and they do. And so, you know, follow what he said as well. You know, animation offsets, orientation differences, just make it slightly different. Although I understand you can't do the CG anymore, but this is definitely something possible to do in comp. You know, you could definitely do it in comp as well.
So, I did already, like the animation, they are all different, but okay, they look too similar.
Yeah.
And the helicopter is 1 by 1 modeled from reference, so
yeah. But then just make something else to make it look different. Anything.
Okay.
You know, just to
maybe add more antennas and guns.
Yeah,
and all
yeah.
that.
That's a good idea. That's a really good idea. Okay, and that's it. So going back to the whole thing. So, well, first of all, congratulations. Your showreel is great. Too long. Should be 2 minutes maximum.
Mm-hmm.
I would say 1.5 minutes, but since you have so much, I would keep the 2 minutes. So let me just, in my opinion, okay, and you can take this or leave it. In my opinion, you know, I think that perhaps I would definitely keep the first one, especially if it's a famous actor. I would definitely keep it. I think, you know, I would keep the second one for sure. Looks great. I would definitely keep it. This one, I'm not so sure. I'm not entirely sure you need this shot because you have other shots that look better. But let's put it on hold if we have too many. So maybe we'll put it back if you can fix the glows or you can fix those things. So yeah, just to recap, remember the bokeh and the blur issue on this shot on the CG. That was one thing you needed to fix. Second shot has nothing to do. This shot at least fixed the glow of the nebulas and the stars. I think that would work best in your interest. Not sure you can fiddle around with the blue interaction. Maybe you can't anymore, so see what you can do. And then I would definitely go stronger on the sun here and have brighter sun and more of a feeling of outline. Now, also, maybe experiment with heat haze because you're so close to the sun. You know, they do a lot of that on Sunshine on that film. Maybe put a bit of a heat haze so that we feel like we're really close to the sun and we have a very subtle heat haze on the whole plate. You know, just to see.
Okay.
On the whole thing.
There's like 12 layers of
no.
haze
I'm talking about I'm talking about because heat is propagating, so it would be closer to the camera. You're so close to the sun that you yourself filming this. Well, you would have melted. You wouldn't been able to film it. But I'm saying heat haze, and heat haze of the entire environment being heat hazed. Try that. See if it works.
I will.
And remove the glow from the stars as well, like on the other shot. This shot. I think this looks really good. There's two things that I said that could be extras, which is the extra particle debris that could be there when the small asteroids hit. You get the particles flying out, and then an extra layer of really micro particles would be really nice, for sure. You can always, by the way, this video will be on my YouTube channel. You can watch it again. I'll put chapters so that you can go directly to your reel, so you can watch
everything down.
yeah, but you can watch it again, and I'll put chapters tomorrow, and I'll be posting it. The blood thing here, I'm not sure I would keep this. It looks okay. I mean, but it's not winning any awards either, so it's not that good. It's good, but it's good. You know, it's if you have problems with time, you can probably skip this shot. Or maybe
like the shirt tracking was insanely painful.
Yeah,
to achieve. So,
but you know, keep it then. But then maybe just put it on hold. Keep it. Okay. Let's scroll through here. The eye, I don't think it's a problem. The guy on the corridor, the tunnel, I don't think it's a problem. The muzzle flash, I would definitely fix the gun. I would definitely do that. I think it would be nice if you could do that. This is just a black point, white point thing. You know, it's quite simple to fix with the phone. And then the girl, I would advise you to try to pick up some of the notes from the chat. See if you can break up this reflection a bit more, because this looks a bit weird. This key is fine. Keep going. Comp something there. It looks great. Go for it. And the eye, I mean, if you can... If your showreel is very long, take this shot out, maybe. This I would take completely out. I don't think you need this shot with the airplanes. It's very confusing what's going on there. And then this looks great. Even if you don't put that layer of extra rain, it already looks great. So you would keep it for sure.
Should I keep the breakdown? Because it reveals all my Google... PNGs.
I don't think that's a problem. You're a student. No one cares. It's not a problem. If you were professional, then it would have been a problem because you're stealing images. But you're a student. You're not earning money with this. It's not a problem.
I am earning money with this.
No, what do you mean? Like this shot is like paid and is like a real production?
No, not that shot. It's just.
Okay. That's what I mean. Like you're not. This is not for a film. It's not for a film.
No.
It's not. That's what I mean. If it was for a film and they were using stolen assets from Google, there would have been a problem. That's the thing. This
Should
shot.
I add on the bottom like what's private projects and whatnot?
Yeah, I think you should. Definitely.
Okay.
I think you should. Or you at least put it on your breakdown on the PDF that you're going to send over, or the details you're going to send over on the breakdown. This shot here needs a lot of work. If you can get the work done, fine. If not, I think you should take it out. And then, last but not least, I think this shot is okay. If you can do that, the turret and the antennas, even better. But it's already good as well, so that's pretty much what I would say. Like, I think that's my lowdown. To make the showreel shorter, by the way, you definitely can speed up these breakdowns. I don't need to be watching them, like, so slowly. You can go faster with the wipes. If anyone wants to check, they can pause, and they can go frame by frame,
Okay.
That will give you a lot of time. You'll earn some time with the breakdowns being faster, Okay, so... let's see here. So Michael has some more comments here that you can use for the helicopters pieces there if you want to read them. Michael also says, I would recommend Johannes working out some of the cinematography. The little cherry on top adds so much. Remember context only the scene, but also believability. Yeah, I couldn't say that even better. Like we've already talked a few times about that on the showreel. Always try to ground yourself into cinematography, to what the sensor is doing, what the highlights are doing, what the clamps values are, what the exposure levels are. That's really the best advice I would give you to all these CG shots, to make them really outstanding and to make them look like they're not CG. That's the whole point, So, yeah. Cool, man. That's it, really. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Well, tell me, before we go, like, anything else that you would like to say or ask or anything?
No.
So
Thank you for having me.
No problem.
It was quite... I've never been on Stream Live, so I'm
Well, I
A
hope
little shaky.
I hope, well, you know, lovely people here on the chat. Everyone is very lovely, so don't worry about it. We have a great community. Now, I hope you didn't get upset or very stressed about the comments. I think it was constructive, and I
No,
didn't mean
not
to,
at all. Like,
you know,
I've
didn't
seen the
mean.
other streams.
Good. I'm good. I'm glad to hear that. Well, I mean, I feel that you have a really good showreel here. Just keep going. You're very talented. I'm sure you'll get a job quickly, and you'll land on your feet. Just keep going and just try your best to make the shots the best they can be. You know,
I can't hear you anymore.
You can't hear me? Okay, sorry. You can't hear me? Okay, I'm just gonna like
I can't hear you right.
Okay.
Maybe it's my audio.
I can hear you perfectly, and I think that the chat can hear you as well. So
Now I can hear you.
Okay, great. So yeah, as I was saying, that you know, just keep working. You're talented. I'm sure you land on your feet. You have some really good work here. So you know, just keep going, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. That's what I would say.
Thank you.
Cool, man. So I guess that's it, really. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I'll see you next time. You're always welcome. You always can come back when your showreel is more ready. Just come back and we'll discuss it again. Okay?
Yeah, one more question.
Yes.
A friend of mine was thinking if he joins too for showreel submission, but he's doing FX and he wasn't quite sure if you also
Yeah, I can do anything. That's not a problem. I'm a VFX supervisor, so I've done showreels of full CG. I've done showreels of particles. I've done animation showreels. I've done matte painting showreels on the show. So we've done everything on the show. So yeah, no, absolutely. You can send it over. We have one more showreel review before the end of the year. So yeah, go for it. Cool, man.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much, and
Have a nice evening.
I'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so thank you so much. That was great, and yeah, I guess that's it really. So we have the giveaway to go. Yeah, he was lovely, and it was great to see his showreel, and that's it. We've been going on for quite a while now, so let's just get out of your way. And again, thank you so much for everyone been here. Don't forget, next week I am back on live, Friday, the 8th of December. That will be the World VFX Day. So don't forget that we're going to be doing the World VFX Day. It's going to be 11 hours of streaming. Dozens of companies are going to be presenting, dozens of keynotes, presentations, showreels. There'll be a bunch of people as guests on the show. So yeah, so just join that day, and yeah, be on the chat. I'll be on the chat as well. And so I hope you have a lovely day, and let's just do the giveaway. Really, that's the only thing left to do. So let's just do the giveaway. Hopefully everyone has done the giveaway now. Let me just do the thing here. So how many people do we have on the giveaway? Let's just have a look here. Let's have a look. Okay, cool. We have 54 people potentially to win this thing. Let's just roll the dice and see what happens. So I'm drawing the winners now. Let's see what's happening here. Okay, cool. I'm drawing the dice there. Okay, so let's see if hopefully they're not my student yet or something. I hope not. Okay, cool. So, okay, so let's just see here the winner. I'm gonna have the winner of my nuke course is, and don't forget that if you didn't win the nuke course, my new course is currently 50% off. So I've extended the Black Friday. I've extended the Black Friday promotion until the 8th of December. So you can always buy the course for half the price. Both my courses are half price right now. So okay, so the winner of the course is Shubham 640. Shubham 640. That would be the winner. Are you here? Are they here? Let's see here. Are they here? Hopefully they are. Congratulations. Sharvesh, you're asking what YouTube channel will be posting the World VFX Day. It will be this this YouTube channel. So I'll be running the World VFX Day. Will be running on YouTube at Hugo's Desk. So Hugo's Desk is hosting the entire event. So it will be on my channel, so you can just come back. You can hit this notification bell here, and then you can come back in 8 days. It will be at Hugo's Desk the entire 11 hours. So yeah, so you can just join there. It's free for everyone to watch, and yeah, it's gonna be great. I've never done an 11-hour showreel, so we'll see what happens. So yeah, so that's going to be the next event. Then after that, we have another showreel review. And as I was saying, if you didn't win my course, I am doing a 50% off right now, which is because of the World VFX Day. I'm celebrating that. So my courses are 50% off right now. If you're interested, both of them are 50% off. Now the giveaway, are they here? Like did they? So the winner was Shubham640. Are they here? They're not here. I'll just roll the dice again. Are they here? Okay, so yeah, I don't think they're here. So maybe I need to roll the dice again. Yeah, I don't think they're here. Okay, I'll roll the dice again. So let's roll the dice again and see if this time they'll be here. So remember, I always say this on every stream. You have to be here to win. Otherwise, you don't win. So let's just see here. So the winner of the Nuke course is... so that's name. Let me just see if I can put the name in. Okay, so the winner would be... The winner is Devinder Bazanti. Is that how I say that name? I hope so. So it's Devinder Bazanti. Are they here? That's me? Okay, cool. So, yeah, that's right. That's your name. I can see it on your email. So congratulations, you've won the Nuke course. The Nuke course today is going to go all the way to Canada. Congratulations. So yeah, that's it really. So the giveaway is done. There'll be more giveaways next week. So on the World VFX Day, we'll have a giveaway as well. We'll have 3 Nuke courses there. We'll have 3 licenses of Nuke. And there will be more giveaways, but I need to I still don't have the full confirmation of all the giveaways. But there will be more giveaways, don't worry. And yeah, that's it. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here. We've had 378 people watching today. Thank you so much for being here. It was really, really appreciative. It was a really great showreel review. And I'll be back next week for the World VFX Day on Hugo's Desk. And then the week after that, we'll have another showreel review. So thank you so much for everything. And yeah, regarding the Victor Perez book, yes, I need to contact you guys with that. I'm sorry I've been delayed with the World VFX Day. I'll contact everyone, and I will check your message. Don't worry. Congratulations, everyone. I'll see you all later. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. And yeah, that's it, really. So I'm going to stop now.